So, good morning.
Yep.
We will be missing Emma through to about, well, about an hour from now. Oh no, about 3 hours from now, she said. Yeah,
Hmm?
there you go, Jeff.
Yep. Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have Jeff. I thought that last week was last time.
Yep,
This week is last time.
yep.
Okay.
But we will be missing Emma for like 3 hours.
That long?
Yeah, she said that she'd be back about 1:15 her time, and that happens to be.
Yeah.
But is she East Coast or is she
Midwest.
Midwest? Yeah, so
She's
2 hours.
yeah.
Eastern time.
She's indecisive. Could choose the east or the west.
Mel, did you just say Eastern time?
Yes, East Coast time.
Ah,
Okay, so then
Never mind then.
she'll be out for 2 hours. But I'm not gonna just sit here and chat with you guys for 2 hours. I'm not fascinating enough for that.
Neither are we.
I know. I was trying to be kind.
Mike, you have to be cruel to be kind.
I am being cruel to be kind.
And now I want to listen to that song again.
I am listening to that song again.
In your head.
Yeah, because I'm broadcasting, so I can't actually listen to it.
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, as you may have seen or ignored in the announcement tab, the recap is up. Uh, Last session was a whole lot of chasing questions down a rabbit hole. Are we replicants? Who's a replicant? What the hell are those little tubes? And you spent a couple of days on Mona so far, and you're now at the time point where if the Derringer did follow you uh, straight through metaspace to Mona, then they will be catching up to you at this point. Assuming they did not trim the course.
well, that's safe to assume at this point because they haven't shown up before now, have they?
Yes.
That's correct. And actually, I take it back. Were they following you immediately with what you saw of their drive? Um, they should have come out around the same time as you.
Hmm.
Because 12 days divided by 3 is 4 days, which is effectively what you got when you trim the course. Yeah, not sure where I went wrong on that math. I think I must have thought they only had a drive too. And where we left off, exactly where we left off, Colleen and Dude had just been scanned, and Colleen was trying to go for a brain scans. Cap and that's who we're missing. I knew we were still missing somebody. Cap and Dude convinced her to hold off on that, even though Cap had already made the executive decision that she was not going to allow it. Yeah, ping Nick real quick. Saw him playing games pretty late, so he may not have been able to sleep again. And that's where you're at. You've spent the whole day doing that, and can return to the ship. Or you can continue to sit in the medical room. In the medical room.
So, at this point, everyone that wants to go has been checked out, and we're done on this planet, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you can
should we
stay and
probably?
do repairs if you want.
Are
You
you
do.
talking about the gun that you
No,
want to
well,
repair
you.
someday?
Cap did say no repairs on the gun, but there's 2 hit points left to repair, I believe. I don't recall you guys saying that was being repaired.
I had been repairing. Well, yeah, I had taken us from 4 down to 2 down when I was out in space. I hadn't started working back again on the ship yet here.
Mm-hmm.
Is all of our transactional stuff done?
Yeah, in fact, let me
Okay.
update the ship inventory to reflect that you have received your credits. And
That is good.
you have now 152 tons of scrap. Oh my god, I didn't math this out for myself.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Oh my goodness, now I actually have to click buttons and do numbers.
You should make your own
You should
little
enter.
Excel spreadsheet.
I was about to say you should make an Excel spreadsheet with all the math you might ever do in your life. That way you can just bring up the relevant spreadsheet when you need it.
That's not a bad idea.
I was gonna say, maybe not that far, but certainly an Excel spreadsheet with all the math for this game.
Well, this is actually just mathing out what you guys are netting from that transaction. So there wouldn't actually be a way to pre-math that unless I were um, precognizant. Precognitive.
Precognizant works too.
It's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I don't think it works quite the same. Being aware of it ahead of time as opposed to actually knowing ahead of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm aware of a lot of things ahead of time. I was aware I had to do this ahead of time. I was already precognizant.
Didn't help you. It is very true.
Alright. And you guys are rolling in the money now. You got 2,190,000 and
Yeah, that's a
270 credits.
heck of a thing.
You can also do pre-maintenance.
Yeah, I was just about to point out that, boy, that sounds like a lot of money. Man, the maintenance costs on our ship are more than that.
Yep.
So Not nearly as much money as you'd think.
Oh, interesting. Last maintenance versus next maintenance. Hmm. I'm using last maintenance for when your next maintenance is due.
For the time frame, right?
Yeah, just because putting it in as last maintenance seems kind of weird to me, because it would suggest that it's 6 months from your last maintenance, which if you wait a couple months means you could stretch out the maintenance miles and actually pay less over years, as opposed to putting it down as here's when your next maintenance needs to have been paid by. So yeah, you could do pre-maintenance type stuff as well. Um, you are about 2 months away from when that maintenance will actually cycle. And everybody seems really quiet and out of it today,
Oh, I'm
especially
here.
Nick.
Well, hey, there you go.
I wonder if he also went to lunch. Did Emma say that she and
In
that we were meeting?
chat, it just said that
Mm,
she was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Well, what would you guys like to do? I can
Well,
make decisions for the cap if you decide that you want to go somewhere.
well, if we're not doing the repairs now, that's up to dude. He's the repair guy. Getting out of here before the other ship gets here, if we have a chance, might not be a bad idea, but we probably have to go through the system where we saw that ship in the first place to do it. But it's not like we have any option there anyway.
Yeah, well,
So the
that's
real discussion next is where are we going next, which is obviously the place next to that place, which I can't remember the name of. So there we go. We've had that discussion.
well. If I remember correctly, the only rudder we've got out of Andoy's is back to uh, wherever the hell the last system was. Whatever the heck its name is.
Izzy.
Right. Um,
Yeah, at some point I need to actually add lines on the map, because having a rudder from Andois to Ezi does not mean you can go straight from Andois to Sos. Um,
well, that's what I'm getting.
you wouldn't be able to go straight to Sos anyways. It is 3 hexes.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, once you guys get a higher spike drive, I will actually need to start making
Uh,
lines on things to show which rudders you guys have.
come. Quick question though. Once we arrive at back to the place before Sos, um, we don't actually have to go through the system, right? We can just get there and then immediately spike away again, right?
Hmm.
Assuming we have fuel, which might be something to talk about as well.
Yeah,
right.
Because we only have actually we used all our fuel at this point, haven't we?
they
No, we
refueled you.
had one. Yeah.
They refilled us.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
That's right. As
Yeah,
a
they,
yeah.
they just basically refueled you for free.
Yeah. And we had
Just as
one
part of
when
all
we
the
were.
hospitality and transaction.
There you go. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, we'd figured out that it wasn't so much a question of having to go through a Z. It was that we needed to. It was extremely unlikely that even if the ship was just that was chasing us had just stopped there and waited for us, that they would be in the same place
Mm-hmm.
to get a sight of us if we were going to try and pop in there and then rudder directly out to the next system down the line.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime that you are traveling from one star to another, the the arrival point from any individual star is fixed. Going to Aussie, or let's use SOS. Going to SOS, and I'm gonna actually pull up the map for you guys so that you can see that. And then give me a second to reorient it over here so it doesn't look silly. And hey, look, space music. How about that?
And that I was actually going to ask you if you could pull that map back up.
Yep, there you go. Map is pulled. Um, so going from Andoys to SOS will put you in the same region of space every time you do it. Going from Azi to SOS will put you in a different region of space, but will still put you in the same region of space every time you make that trip. So your arrival into a star from a star will always be the same. However, each departure star has a different arrival zone. The space is big enough, and these star systems are massive enough. These solar systems are massive enough that more or less every single system has a different arrival point from, or different region of space in which you arrive from every single star, even if they look like they're coming from the same direction. Like if there was a star literally between Stet and Sos on the right map, yeah, you should be able to see that. You'd still come into Sos in a different location, and part of that is also because this space ain't fucking two-dimensional. So, yes, going to Azi from Andoys, um, the Derringer can be placed at exactly the region of space in which you will arrive. That's what all of that was, leading towards saying.
Well, if they decide to just wait there, we'll deal with it.
Okay.
Don't really have a choice unless we just want to stay here.
Does that
Unless
mean
dude
that
can,
does it mean that if you make a jump from one system to another and then just park wherever you show up, then that eventually someone's going to crash into you?
The region of space is large enough, and there is enough variance that you're not going to land in the exact same cubic meter of space, or even cubic kilometer. But
Close enough to be able to be seen.
yeah, considering we're talking about combat ranges of 10,000 kilometers, and it taking
Right.
6 hours to move from one point in a single region to another region, or to another point in that same region, 48 hours to go from a planet to a different region of space. Yeah, plus coming out of metaspace, you've got a little bit of you can adjust your position if you are going to land in something. You can't change your mind and go back into metaspace. So if you happen to be coming down into something, I'm pretty sure that's actually what the spike drill mishaps table can represent. Why is there an asteroid in my crew hull?
and where's Jerry?
He was in the crew
Dunk,
hull.
dunk, 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 dunk.
Wait, how's he knocking? Is the asteroid hollow?
uh, right. So yeah, we probably just have to deal with the fact they might be waiting for us, unless dude can rig up extra level of spike drive for us.
Not with what he's got access to. He can't even actually fix the gun. We've got the pre-tech salvage for it, but we still don't have enough actual scrap to be able to do it. We need to get to a system that has a lot of available scrap.
Yeah, you need one more pre-tech to be able to upgrade the spike drive one more. Because you have to fix the specialized mounting on the spike drive, and then you can fix the spike drive or upgrade the spike drive.
Well, the good news is I can do a drill in 30 minutes. How long was a space combat round? Was it 10 or 15 minutes?
It's 15 minutes, yeah.
So they could only potentially shoot at us twice, unless they. So yeah.
You can actually do an emergency drill in one round,
Oh,
and that's even without mods.
I'm guessing that adds difficulty to the check.
Yeah, I believe so at least. Let's take a look at space combat. I hate the F1 key. No, I
Not
do
sure it
not
likes you much either.
freaking need a help file to load up in a web page. Okay. Drill activation was rushed is a +2.
Okay.
Which
So.
would still put it below your threshold if you don't trim the course.
Right. So, we're cool with that. A quick in and out through a Z for SOS.
It feels like a plan to me. As long as you think you can get us in and out.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get to SOS because obviously we can't hang around in a Z. I did have a lot of scrap there though, man.
They did.
Yeah, no, I could. I'd hope that the Cap might have some thoughts on. I mean, if that ship ain't there, could we stay in a Z and just do some shopping there? Or would they have put the notice out to keep an eye out for us? Might be persona non grata.
Well, assume the ship's not. Well, the ship's not there. We can scope out the situation.
Yeah. Nemo, haven't you been able to link into the news reports when we've been in system?
Assuming we are within roughly 100 kilometers of any broadcast, yes.
I mean, jump in system, see if we ain't being immediately tracked, and then check the news reports, see if they have a wanted thing and stuff.
Mel, in addition to the 100 kilometer, anything, if anything, non-private gets blasted out to ships when they arrive in a system, um, you receive that also.
Okay.
So basically, if it would go to open access black box, you get that. And that's how you're getting router information from planets. Or not router, rudder.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Howdy.
Sounds
Hey,
like someone arriving.
Good morning.
yeah, sorry, my alarm let me down.
Ah,
That's okay, we've just had important philosophical discussions without you.
Those are usually the best.
you mean the discussions without you?
No, the philosophical discussions without me. That way I don't have to worry about them.
No, the crew is just discussing next course of actions with Aziz, specifically Rain Lalati, being a desirable hotspot if the other ship is not there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Because we need more scrap than these guys have access to.
Well, let's sneak back in.
Now, our fuel. You said they fueled us back up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our max is what? 2?
Yep.
Uh, there we go. See, that's the problem with skipping stone through a Z is one fuel to get to a Z, one fuel to get to SOS, and then we better hope there's somebody in SOS that we can fuel us up, because otherwise we stuck.
True. Don't most systems have some way to fuel
Yeah,
specifically for that
yeah,
reason?
because of the practically the standard that ships only carry enough fuel for one spike drive. I'm not entirely sure why that is when fuel is so cheap. Um, I'm,
Well, a lot of people just have spike one drive, so they'll need to refuel wherever they go.
I mean the rating of the spike drive doesn't affect your fuel consumption though.
Oh, can we get? Oh, so. Oh, true.
The fuel consumption, or yeah, fuel consumption is always one per drill, and
Yeah.
your fuel storage is always based completely on your ship. You standard by standard have one, and have to use mass to add more. And I guess it's because fuel is supposed to be extremely heavy, and yeah, I mean it takes a lot to store it, I guess.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it could also just require special containment since it lets you break reality and stuff.
yeah, since it is technically really only fuel to build that metaspace bubble, and all the power it generates is kind of a byproduct. All the motive power it generates is a byproduct. Or not even motive power. Power that it supplies to your uh, in-space engines. So there's that. Anyways, yeah, no, most ships have only the standard fuel that goes in the spike drive and have to refuel in every station. So most of these stations will have some way of refueling, or most of these destinations will have some way of seeing you refueled.
As long as we can avoid, legal entanglements. I mean, that still sounds like the best option. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to stop in a Z, just because we know people there.
All right. So we'll do a Z. We're ready to jump if we need to. Otherwise, we'll scope it out and see if we can hang around there.
See if we're on the most wanted page.
We are already on the most wanted page.
This is very true.
Alright.
And
Cap-
we had pretty functionally cleared out what Mona really has as far as equipment and shit to buy, right?
Yeah.
According to them.
Well, yes.
I would like one of those mechs.
Would be pretty kick-ass. Just saying.
This is
Maybe
my
if
last session.
Uh-huh.
you can go out with a bang.
So is Clark wanting to apply for citizenship to Mona?
I mean, if that's all it takes, but not really.
I say every night we sneak over to the spaceport and steal a bit of metal.
Hey, I'm here to pick up that mech, taking it to that other airport over on the other continent.
Oh, we start with the doors and everything.
Mona is one big continent. There are no
The
seas.
secret government continent. Oh,
And there's only and as far as we know, that's the only kind of habitation on the planet as well.
There's a lot of empty space on Mona.
They ate all the rest.
Yeah.
Alright, so it sounds like you guys are taking off from Mona and heading off to the edge of the system to jump out to a Z.
yep.
Did we get all of our stuff?
Yes. The
So it's a couple of days later.
it is well, it was 2 days later, just from you guys resting and then going to doing all the scans and then coming back and resting. It's actually the end of that second day here. That's right, I forgot that you were not here for the first few minutes. So I said that it's the end of the day after Colleen was convinced to hold off on any kind of brain surgery or scans.
Well, I was
And
asking because the clothes were supposed to take a few days.
yeah, so it's the end of that, technically that second day here. If you guys stay the night, it will be your third day on the planet.
Alright, so just check close there.
You're actually breaking up, Nick. That's unusual.
Might be my internet being and
Okay. So what was your
but no,
question?
I was asking about the clothing
Right.
that we ordered. Since that was supposed to take a few
It was supposed to take a couple of days, as well as Nemo's fleshy sludge. Nick, if you're trying to talk, I can't hear you.
No,
Okay.
I was just listening.
Okay. And for the sake of making it easier for you guys to make a decision, I will say that they are bringing that stuff over to you as you're talking about what to do next. So you have your clothes, you have your fleshy sludge, and you have your credits.
Excellent. And I hope helping with the drone.
You hope what?
Has Dude been helping with the drone
Oh.
as he's promised?
Well,
it's
in
only
game we had just gotten back to the ship. Yeah.
yes, it's only been like an hour, so Matt, that is a good point. Dude could have been working on the drone for an hour.
Yes. If Colleen wanted to immediately start in on it after getting back to the ship, Dude would have been perfectly fine. Going down. He did promise.
You have denied the girl her brain scans. Give her her damn drone.
You wouldn't let me participate in risky medical procedures, so you're going to make me a gun drone.
Yes. Beacon the alternate project was.
Alright, so you guys have your stuff, and you can decide whether you're going to stay the night here or begin the drill out. Well, actually, begin the travel out to the edge of the system, and then make your spike drill. Well, sleep and then make your spike drill.
There's really no reason to stay, is there?
Up to you guys.
If we have what we came for, there's really no reason to spend any more time than necessary in one place.
I mean, we've got everything we need from here.
Unless we want to learn more about this fascinating society.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you setting off in the night?
I mean, we're not really sneaking off, are we?
Yeah, not really. I mean, you
It just happens to be
presumably
night.
you're going to tell them that you're leaving
Yeah.
because they have big guns.
Yes, we will obviously be contacting whatever they whatever going by whatever is the usual procedure for taking off and landing,
Yeah.
asking for permission to take off.
Basically. And you've seen that they have people in that starport area um, on shifts around the clock, so there will be somebody there to acknowledge, verify, do whatever needs to be done, and then let you guys go. It is purely a character choice. Do you want to sleep on the safety of the planet, or do you want to jump out into space and start making your way to the edge of the system while you're flying along while you're sleeping?
Well, No reason to stay here if we think that we may still be being chased.
Yeah, exactly. We'll
Mhm.
be safer. We'll be safer. We'll be objectively safer in space.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. Cap calls to the starport, and you guys are cleared to take off. Going from one region of space to another, namely from the
We
planet region to the edge of the system. Takes 48 hours. Modified
we are
by
the
your
only ship here, aren't we?
You are the only ship here.
Oh, so it can't be all that difficult to clear to get a window.
No, not really. Um, Modified by your spike drive rating, so it will take exactly 1 day to get to the edge of the system unless Clark wants to trim the course again.
Nah, I'll play it safe this time.
Okay. So, I'm gonna try something new here, because I could really use a way to be able to quickly identify where the frickin' days pass. I almost missed one as I was doing the recap again. So let's just let's see if the markers. The markers aren't really very good. So remember I was talking about how awesome it was that they added stream markers, because it would allow me to mark the stream where things happen, and it's a little line in the stream that I can see while I'm reviewing it.
Mhm.
Well, once I've actually made a highlight of that stream, the markers are no longer visible. I can't go back in. And
Wait.
so I either use the markers purely to indicate where something interesting has happened for recapping, or, well, more or less nothing at all, because what I what I can't use them for timestamps, because I would be giving you the timestamp of the full unclipped unabridged version,
Mhm.
and I always cut out the BS before and after our sessions for the permanent storage.
Right.
So there we go. There's my rant. You guys sleep for one night. With all that that entails, if any of you happen to have system strain or damage, and then you've got another 24 hours to do whatever work on a drone that you think is necessary. I
Very
figured I would
subtle,
just
Mike.
add that in. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that work can, that amount of work can be done.
It will typically take that 1 week to make a drone, I believe. Nick may be able to correct that for me.
I believe so. Was just
Unless
looking at
you're
the
rushing or doing
time.
anything special with it.
No, this is not the cheap and shoddy kind. Yeah, let's see, normal amount of time, since it's normal
Rather,
quality.
it's the shooty kind.
It is the shooty kind. While he's looking that up, Jeff,
Mhm.
when you leave, are you going to prefer that Clark stay on the ship, or do you want to let him kind of meander off?
I don't really have a preference there, since I don't think I'm really going to be doing this game anytime soon.
Okay. And the follow-up question to that, which you more or less
They
kind of
still need
already
a
answered.
pilot.
They do still need a pilot. Is will you have any objection if I make Clark available as an NPC to play,
It's fine.
or for lease? Okay,
Lease.
for lease. Yep.
That's kind of how it would work, yeah.
Yes.
Only if you charge way too much.
No, I figured he'd be discounted, slightly used. Plus, he's got a bad cowboy accent. And hollow
A good
spurs.
accident.
Yep, one week for weapon, suit of armor, or other portable devices. Having at least one assistant with fix 0 will halve this time.
Mm-hmm.
So half a week.
If you guys are both working on it together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys working on it together?
That was the plan.
Okay.
There's no point in, you know, unless you want it for mechanical reasons for to put regular work into the planned repairs of the charge cannon. Until we get enough scrap, there's no point in putting more effort into it.
I
Other
think
than
the discussion previously was that all the scrap and work you put into it now is less time it will take once you've got enough scrap later. Remember, you can only do is it I believe 25,000 a day.
yeah, we've done 2 days of it.
Yeah. So this is not only a scrap investment but also a time investment.
Yeah, I mean, dude would definitely like to reduce the amount because once we've got it, he'd want that gun up and running as quickly as possible. But he did make a promise to Colleen, so as long as she wants to concentrate on the drone, he will continue working on the drone. He will occasionally drop hints of maybe we could take a day so he could put a day towards the charge cannon.
He could send her an email.
Uh-huh. But if she insists, he's not going to push the issue because he did make a promise.
Well, the drone will actually only take 3.5 days. So it's not like she's putting you off for 2 weeks. That first day is spent traveling through the Andoy's system to reach the edge of the galaxy. You've got 1 day towards your drone. And Nick, I'm just assuming that you're calculating all the costs and the scrap requirements correctly. So, no pressure there. Do note everything though, so that I can go back and take a look at it later. Didn't hear an acknowledgement, but I'm assuming he heard that.
That's a lot of assumptions you're making now.
It is a lot of
Mhm.
assumptions.
I mean, he's usually pretty good about the math.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Alright.
Generally.
He's also usually more responsive.
Well, it did sound like he didn't get any sleep at all.
You are now at the edge of the Andoy system and preparing to make your spike drill out to a Z.
Easy peasy.
A Z is 2 hexes away, so it will take 6 days. And
We just dropped him there.
Yeah, that's
okay.
probably why he didn't respond.
Yeah, and he was talking about how his
Yeah.
connection was not being awesome. Okay. Are you trimming the course to get from Andoys to a Z?
No. In fact, taking longer might be a good thing because they may stop waiting after a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm. And you are, as far as you know, undetectable in metaspace. So it's almost like you're
Okay.
hiding there if you take longer. Alright, that's another 6 days of work that can be done on anything except for hit point repair. Dude and Colleen have 1 day of work on the drone. Matt, who's taking point on building the drone?
Realistically, in universe, it would the physical build would probably be dude, but mechanically, Colleen has the better score. By
I see Nick has just rejoined Roll20.
Yep, and there he is.
And here.
Okay. Welcome
Yep.
back, Nick.
Yep. I blipped out after reset the first day.
Okay.
We got that.
Couple of relevant things that I said that you missed are, I'm just go ahead and just cost out the drone in parts and credits cost.
8,500.
All right, and make a note somewhere.
Actually, doesn't Dude have Tinker that halves the cost?
He might.
Yes, I do have Tinker to maintain twice as many mods, and ship and gear mods cost only half their usual price in credits.
Okay, 4,250 in that case.
It's just the gear mods that cost half the price in credits, not the actual gear construction. So the drone itself is going to be full price.
Okay, in that case, 8,500.
There are no mods to the drone that would be reduced by that. So the
yes,
mods, those are fittings, not mods, right?
Okay,
They
yeah,
use
8,500.
different Okay.
Yeah, the 8,500 is basically the price of the drone, including the fittings.
Okay. Go ahead and just make here. Let me. I forgot you can't actually make your own handouts. So handout.
Colleen's Drone Armada.
Now I believe by allowing you to edit the mysterious note that has appeared, and shown up to you, you can also change the name. So go ahead and change that name to whatever you want.
I like Mysterious Note.
It can't stay
You
as a
would.
mysterious note. So change the name to something that's not mysterious note and that does identify what the thing is, and then just show me what the drone and the fittings, and I'll get a character sheet for the drone set up later on once I figure out where they've put the drone character sheets.
Colleen has taken to reading old pre-Scream comic books and has fallen in love with the character of a villain in the old Spider-Man. So the note would be Mysterio's note.
Please don't encourage her.
You forget she has a giant cache of pre-Scream entertainment.
I know, that's why I was
What's-
saying that.
What?
And I knew Mel would get that.
What's not to love about old fish? What's not to love about old fishbowl head?
Mm-hmm.
And since well, you're not making use of Tinker there, so either one of you can be primary on that build. The only reason I'm going here is to figure out who's making the roll. Which one of you is making the fixed roll to just kind of guide the DM on this drone construction?
I mean, do we have to roll for the construction? I forget.
I'm asking you to roll. So
Well,
yes,
no,
you
but
do.
I mean, does it affect the success of the thing?
It is just a GM roll.
Okay.
A GM requested roll.
Um.
Normally, you do not have to roll to make things.
Right. As I was saying, before we got Nick, I feel like the physical act of the heavy duty build would probably be Dude, but he'd be doing it under Colleen's guidance because she's the one that wants the drone. This is really her baby, and she knows more about the workings of the drone than he does. So I'd probably say, have Colleen make the roll.
Yeah, that works. Let's have the brains of the operation do it.
Okay, roll it.
If you're making it a roll, is he considered an assist?
No, don't do any
Okay.
assist.
Hmm.
Okay, it takes 4 days. That was supposed to be a 30-second conversation to determine whether it takes 3 days or 4 days. That 30-second conversation got interrupted by who has Tinker and Recap.
Did you forget who your players were, Mike?
I had hoped they'd changed overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Like gotten
Hope springs
replaced
eternal.
by, I don't know.
Mike, I've GM'd for these people.
That's your own fault.
Hey, it actually would have been maybe not quite 30 seconds, but at most 90 seconds if the recap hadn't been inserted. So yes, I'm not splitting the day. It takes 4 days for Dude and Colleen to coordinate the construction of this drone. You already had 1 day floating through space towards the edge of the system, so it takes 3 days in metaspace, and you guys have 3 more days in metaspace to do anything else that you're trying to do. Is Clark doing anything?
Piloting through metaspace.
Okay. Dude?
Actually, how long has it been since I've done the puzzle box? Is that reset yet?
You had 1 day on the timer, so these 4 days put you at 5. You gotta wait 2 more days. So basically, as soon as you come out of that,
Yes. We're gonna do like Pokemon hatching eggs. We're just going back and forth between these two systems until we get these puzzle boxes figured out.
It seems like a somewhat inefficient use of fuel.
Information's the most important resource.
Uh-huh.
Also, it's been pointed out that fuel's dirt cheap.
Yep.
The fuel is pretty damn cheap. Alright.
So the 4 days in, that still leaves us, what, 3 days in metaspace? Or
You
2?
get 2 days left.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, no. You do have 3 days left. You got
Okay.
6 days total in metaspace. You just flew for 3 of them.
Right.
So, my question
Mm-hmm.
regarding the the body swap skill.
Mm-hmm.
It says that the old parts swap become unusable unless you or someone else assisting you succeeds on an heal check difficulty 8. Does that include the original parts as well?
That is a great question. It should not, because those original parts were not intended to be swappable.
Yeah.
So,
I figure as much because that would be a rather hefty drawback if you could actually destroy your original body that way.
you said it would be a hefty drawback?
Yes, it would be a rather considerable drawback if you could destroy your original body that way.
How do you mean?
You mean like accidentally?
Yeah.
So as a consequence of it, right?
Yes.
Well, the reason I'm confused is I'm saying that that original body is, well, the original fleshy encasing of the actual body was not designed to be swappable. So I would, in lore, say you can't go back to it once you start swapping in for new body.
Oh, so it is supposed to include it, or rather, or you can't even roll for it. It just happens up. It just destroys it automatically.
Right, that's my initial inclination, because that is how the lore would guide it. The body that Nemo is currently using, well, I'll say that the original body that a chameleon android comes with is it's not, well, the chameleon android was not designed to be a chameleon. It was designed to serve drinks at a bar as an android with no personality. So there was no reason for them to make any kind of alterations to the physical portion. However, as Nemo is contemplating and continuing to calculate what he wants this vat of fleshy, bubbly stuff to grow into, he receives an epiphany. He is already using body swapped parts. There's gonna be a little bit of incongruity between created by that, but it actually is the historical lore of the character, so I technically can't take that away. Will say that when he developed the routine, it seemed quite a bit easier than perhaps it should have been, and that's because that code was already there. He had to forge some new pathways for it, because once you've forgotten how to do something, once something has been completely erased, you still have to redo it again. But there were also it seemed like there were some pathways that were run in, not actually coded, but roads that hadn't been painted.
So I technically always had that exosystem, had the permanent strain and those extra hit points, is what you're saying?
You're trying to get too technical about it. Let's just handwave that.
Well, you're the one who's tying yourself down to something without tying yourself down to the story part without tying the mechanic part. You invented to it.
It's only because this character has a previous history before you got your hands on it. Any new player and brand new character in this system would never have had a history for this body swap per the character creation rules, so this problem wouldn't come up then.
Well, yes, but...
Yes, in this situation, I'm creating the problem, and I'm fixing it by saying, yeah, let's just handwave that.
Wouldn't it be easier to just not have the problem?
No, because that is part of the character's history.
Ah, so you just didn't take it into consideration when you made
the
rules.
I did not take that into consideration.
Never mind the man behind the curtain.
I can easily say that something that happened when Nemo was deconstructed, or when he lost all of his memories, when they were taken from him, freed up that system strain, which is not reproducible, so somebody could not recover that permanent system strain in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Magic happened.
Mm-hmm. A wizard did it.
That is always a good explanation.
A space wizard.
Oh, a space wizard did it, yes.
Yes.
Not to be confused with a space lizard.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry for that, but part of the thrust of this campaign is that these characters had their histories that created who they were, and you're picking back up from a reset of that. And so, if any other character recognizes Nemo and, for instance, says, "Oh, you changed your body," that's part of that character's history.
But they'd have to really recognize him to recognize him.
I was about to say, how?
Those eyes. I know those eyes. Nemo? Is that you?
Which would be impressive considering the name, considering you picked the name out of a hat as well.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that would be a really weird NPC interaction.
But would it be more accurate then? Because I think it's more of a question of, well, not realizing entirely what you intended with the cosmetic routines. So where you refer to them as parts, it would be more accurate to refer to them as organic coatings.
As organic what?
Coatings.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Meat
The
suits.
the internal structure of the android stays the same. That's why you can't actually really change his height. Um, he's taking off the fleshy, muscular parts that are really just there for show anyways,
Mm-hmm.
to make him look like an android, and replacing them with different fleshy parts
Yeah.
that
So if one was so inclined, one could just not replace a part, just take off a quote unquote part and not replace it if I wanted to, for the well, the Terminator look, if you will.
um I suppose I could write something for that. He wouldn't gain the extra hit points for having the the body swap if he did that. But I suppose that is something that could be done. If somebody slices his gut open and there's just this large fleshy stomach hangling and jiggling and swinging about, he could just cut it off and go part Terminator look.
You know, or just remove the face, just remove the face and not put a new one.
That would be disturbing.
He would actually have to have, the way I'm looking at it, he would still actually have to have the technique, or not technique, the routine, for that specific part, because he is still making modifications to his code, so that some of the tendrils of code that leak into and that form into this otherwise cosmetic outer layer aren't just being lost. Any normal android that actually loses, that actually has like an entire arm degloved, takes penalties by it. Um, a chameleon with body swap, for instance, um, should not. Its code and personality starts to infiltrate the android's entire structure.
But since the level 2 body swap lets you change your face anyway, then I don't see why face swap would be needed at all in that situation.
Body swap shouldn't be changing face.
It does. One part of the torso part includes the head.
Head, not face. So you
It,
could remove, you could scalp him, but the
well,
face.
we well, adding a new head would obviously change the face as well.
No, 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 no. That's he's not actually adding a
What?
new head. His head remains intact. His entire skeletal structure remains intact. All he's doing is changing the covering over the head.
Yes, and the face is part of
No, the
the
face is a
face is
different
obviously
part
part
of
of the
the.
covering.
The face is a different part in this system. The face is the front of the head. The body swap does basically from the back of the neck up and to the forehead. Does
So
not even include ears.
when you begin the body swap text with answering the question of whether an android is male or female with a resoundingly ambiguous yes, would be actually be only if you only if you also took head swap, because if you then change your body to a female body, you'd still have a male head.
You still have a male face. Let's reserve this discussion for later, Mel. This is getting a bit tangential.
Fair enough. Actually, it's relevant for what I want to do with it, but
Why don't you ask me what you want to do, and I'll make a decision right now, and we can move forward.
well, let's just move forward then.
Okay. I will end that with face is different from head. And you guys have 3 days.
Well, dude would yeah. Once he was finished with the drone and Colleen was satisfied, he would have shifted over to uh, reducing the repair time on a cannon in anticipation of ideally having scrap. So he would spend at least 2 more of those days and another 50k of scrap.
Okay.
So I'll
He's able
mark
to-
that on there if you want to.
I'll let you do that.
Well, I mean, if you want me to, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I missed that part. Go ahead. Is Colleen doing anything during those 3 days?
I might have ripped out at that point. You said, was it time yet to fiddle again with the box?
Mm-mm. As soon as you guys come out of Metaspace, you will get that roll.
Alright,
As I've said before, though, if you want to spend an entire day fiddling with it, then you can have an extra roll. And it won't even interrupt your weekly roll.
are we in Metaspace yet?
Oh yeah, you've been in Metaspace for 3 days.
Okay. She would have rolled out the Doomsday device and actually spent time with that.
Okay.
The second
Once
that
once her
as
drone was done.
I mean, Mona, sorry.
No,
Yep.
yeah, you already spent 3 days in Metaspace on the drone, so.
Yep.
Okay. And Clark still just piloting?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Actually did one better than your note sheet. There is a section for drones on the character sheet, as I discovered.
Yeah, I thought they had added that, so.
Yes, and now it's functional.
Very good.
So they're both in there.
I still wanted the note sheet just with the costs and what she made, just that I'm not trying to figure it out from the character sheet.
Okay, I'll put it on there as well. I mean, I added that as well, but I'll
Okay.
add the cost.
If you've got all the notes for it somewhere on the character sheet, then that's fine too. You can ignore the handout.
Okay, I mean, the character sheet basically is just like with the stats and everything, all the fittings,
Yeah.
but it doesn't tell you the cost.
I'm basically just asking you to show your work so that I can follow exactly what was put onto it, the cost of everything, and
Okay,
all that.
yeah, I'll add the cost on the sheet.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get those puzzle box rolls. You guys are quite excited about that.
Cause it's mysterious.
Alright.
I could have clicked puzzle box. Oh well.
It's alright. One moment. Alright. Clark's puzzle box pops open.
What? You gave that to me because
Comes-
it's my last week.
No, you got a 10. Comes as a little bit of a surprise to him because there's still a decent amount of rattling inside. that seems like there would be more puzzle mechanisms, but it seems to have he seems to have twisted it in the right way and can slide it open, and there's nothing catching, preventing it from sliding open all the way. Inside, he reaches the juicy center. A pair of Spurs. Real Spurs. Which appears to be what was making the extra noise.
Mm-hmm.
And may have been an intentional part of the puzzle box, because it was very misleading and confusing.
Is Colleen on the bridge?
Let's say she is. She's doing something over there.
I'll turn around. Oh shit! I got it open. Oh my god, this answers everything.
On the
Go
Spurs
on.
is written 2 words. It looks like they could be a name, but they're not exactly name words.
I'll if that's a name I'm supposed to know, I don't know it.
It's not a name that you guys have heard so far.
Um. All right. Well, I'll turn around, shake the Spurs at Colleen.
You said flick?
Shake.
Shake him.
Jingle, jingle.
Yes, that absolutely explains everything.
Like, why the hell would I put these in this box?
As I said, it explains everything.
I get the feeling you're not taking this find seriously.
No. How can you? Maybe we can run some tests on it? Maybe there's a hidden message inside?
Maybe. But, or I could just wear them.
They are the same style and design as the Hollow Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Like right down to
You know what?
the fancy engraving.
You know what? I'll bet you, or your not clone, probably got me these as a gift.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you.
But did my real you give it to you as a gift? Or to the real you?
I,
Also, is it stealing if you take it from yourself?
What kind of nonsense is that?
You started it.
Are we doing the Matrix conversation? Now, what'll really bake your noodle is, would you still have knocked it over if I hadn't told you? You're just trying to confuse him.
Am I successful?
A little bit.
Oh, well, maybe check it out. Who knows? Maybe there's a computer chip inside. You know, puzzle in a puzzle box. It's all rather puzzling.
I mean, maybe, but seems unlikely.
So you're really gonna wear them?
I mean, why else would I have them?
Well, that's the question.
Yes. Well, I'll put them on and look up Griffin Cage on the computer.
All right. Let's go ahead and give me a quick int program roll. And I realize that you probably don't have program skill, but let's just.
A who? What? What's a program? What?
Int program or int no.
Program or no? No. Yeah, we'll go with no then.
Well, it doesn't take you long using the ship database of news and everything. You find a fine-looking fella named Griffin Cage. Looks quite a bit like Clark, except he's wearing a Galactic Mandate uniform.
Hmm. The mandate's the people that were chasing us, right? The law people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. We got our real names, didn't we? At that one thing?
Yeah,
Or
you
did we
got
never get our...
no, you got names that on the wanted posters.
What was my name? Was it Griffin?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Well, weird. I don't know. Might be a relation.
How many of you are there?
My thought
Doesn't
out of
it-
character is that you are a double agent.
That's possible, yes, but it does. I don't know if that'd be the first thing that comes to Clark's mind, or would it? I don't know. I don't know. But I'll respond to Colleen saying, "You can never have enough of me."
It's
You
at
realize-
It's at Calvin Rick on the wanted poster. Right?
Yep.
Yes.
You realize we have clothing stuff in the med bay.
I'll get a smile and just say, "I'll be right back."
Where's he going?
Well, the joke. He was joking that he was going to go make clones of himself.
Oh. Okay. So he's not actually leaving the bridge.
Nah, he's not actually going to leave the bridge.
Okay. It's good because you're climbing out of metaspace, like literally right now, or descending from metaspace.
Righto. Are there any other ships waiting to shoot us?
You're not quite into real space just yet. And what little bit of real space you can see through the bubble is not occupied by a ship, so you're not going to merge with anything. You don't have to make any adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
You continue descending and enter the edge of space in the Andoy system. Wait, a Z system.
Yes.
You do not see any other ships in this region of space.
I'll look at Colleen. You got anything on the scopes?
I'll check. Oh, I'm gonna fire up the inertial dampeners.
Okay.
Just in case.
What is it with my rolls today?
I don't know.
That and oh, I have to roll to hide as well. Give me a second. Better.
Okay.
Actually, it's a 15 because we do have the inertial dampness on.
Okay. You don't see any ships in your region of space.
Looks clear so far. Unless they're out there trying to hide.
Well,
But yeah, we'll keep checking.
how close we gotta get before we can get some local news?
Well, Nemo is crap. Does anybody remember whether I said the black box goes system-wide, the black box ping goes system-wide, or was it only once you are in the region of space of a black box computer?
I don't think you clarified that ever.
Yeah,
Trying
that
to
doesn't.
remember. I
If you did, I
think
certainly didn't pay attention.
Okay.
it was the later, since I believe we only got the black box update once we were close to the station, and Nemo
Oh,
only got this download once the other ship came into
right.
reach, so to speak.
Yes.
So I don't think it's system wide.
Okay.
Which would make sense, because otherwise you could detect there's a ship just because there suddenly is a black box download.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The black box computers, the planetary black box computers, not like they're just pushing the data out, broadcasting it at all times. They wait for a ping from a ship. Otherwise, that would be really inefficient. At least I think. Unless I guess they could just be sending file headers out. And then waiting for a pull request. I don't know. Maybe I'll, when I sit down to talk with Mel, maybe I'll also keep you around, Nick, and talk about how that would best work too.
Okay.
Numbers, math.
More like in-universe lore consistency on both discussions.
So for now, we still have. You want us to get in range?
Yeah, it's. I think it's still definitely best to be a planetary thing, because the ramifications of that kind of data transfer as soon as you arrive are not good for the player. So you guys are at the edge of the system. Clark's got some fancy new Spurs on.
Mm-hmm.
And
That do go jingle, jangle, jingle.
well, he was already jingling jangling.
That's right. Now it's real jingles.
Yep.
They were false sound waves previously.
Yes, they were made by a speaker
Presumably
instead
they-
of a.
Yeah, presumably they had little speakers.
Mm-hmm. And that makes them fake.
Uh-huh.
Fake sound waves.
It's a
So
fake.
that makes them electronically generated sound waves.
I'll give you a sound wave.
What are you doing? Are you going to proceed inward, or are you going to jump off to SOS?
How long would it take to get? What's the time frame to get from the edge of the system to in range?
At Clark's unrushed speed, it will take 24 hours to get to any location.
Keep in mind we're traveling at half speed right now.
It will take 48 hours to get to any location.
Why are we traveling at half speed? I forget.
Emissions dampers.
Inertia. Yep.
That's
being
right. We did
sneaky.
get those up and running.
When you move sneaky, you always move slower.
Can the ship take a level 1 rogue?
The ship has a level 1 rogue.
Or a level in rogue.
We're using the rogue feature.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to spend the 2 days to get in range to see if we could possibly at least? I mean, if we get in range and we immediately get the keep an eye out for this ship and these people, then we've just wasted 2 days and we got to spend 2 days getting back out to the edge of the system. I mean, we got food.
Yeah, it's not really a problem.
No, it's just time.
I thought we were gonna plunder, liberate Renlalati some more.
As long as we're not immediately wanted.
We were wanted before.
Well, kind of.
I mean, the station was Union, according at least to the latest records. Cap was still dead to them. And they have nothing on me.
Yeah, but
That and the Galactic Men, they didn't get to scan me either.
yeah, but they did get a look at our ship. I'm just worried that they would have just even if they left and didn't try to chase us, that they would have left a keep an eye out for this specific ship.
Well, only one way to find out. But jumping into an unknown system also means that could be the Galactic Mandate base right there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude's fine with spending the 2 days to sneak in and possibly gain some benefit out of this.
Clark,
There's a
Nemo?
perfectly good lightning rod down there somewhere.
No, I'm fine sneaking in.
Mel?
No objections.
Okay. Alright. You spend 2 more days traveling to, I'm assuming, Rain Lilati.
Yep.
Now that we're in normal space, dude would actually have moved over to the hit point damage.
Alright. It only takes 1,000? Let's see. Parent holes is 1,000 credits per hit point.
And is it a day per hit point, I think?
Fixed skill repaired in points each day.
Oh, so you could spend 1 day and fix the 2 hit point damage with 2,000 scrap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he would do that.
Alright.
Where is the Raza? I'll remove the 1,000 scrap.
And while he works on the ship, Colleen would start fixing the shuttle.
Did the shuttle have damage?
Yup.
I guess I hadn't given much thought to the shuttle in a while.
Yeah, it still has a little bit of damage left. And that is 10,000 scrap and a day's worth of work to fix. Which you guys have plenty of time at this point.
Or so you're letting us think.
Indeed. You arrive at Rain Lilati. You can arrive at whichever tower you want to go into. There is, you don't have to get to Rain Lilati and then spend time getting to the tower you want. You can just get straight there.
Well, are we... Did they put us up on active blast? That's my question.
So upon arrival to Rain Lilati, you your ship's black box does make a transaction, and this comes back to Nemo also. There is a news alert identifying all of you, and the ship known as the Raza, registered as the Santa Clarita.
Hmm.
And accuses you of piracy, terrorism, and other crimes against humanity. You are armed
They
and extremely dangerous.
They throw jaywalking in there too? Jeez.
That's not a thing, Matt.
Not really something you can do in a
J
spaceship.
piloting.
You crossed
You have
the wrong
illegally
metaspace lane.
right.
Even though they aren't actually lanes, but
Mm.
you crossed the wrong metaspace current. So yeah, the black box on Rain Nalati is broadcasting that back out upon your arrival.
Awesome.
Oh, there you go.
Which means we almost certainly can't go to Henry Station.
All that accusing thing, is that on Union's end, or is that just a galactic mandate
It's
broadcast?
a galactic mandate broadcast.
We could always rip out the black box, claim we lost our black box, and say we need repairs.
Again?
No, we're a totally different ship this time around.
Yeah, we just happened to bear a striking resemblance to a ship that just had this exact same problem. We just pay no attention, yeah. we could try scrounging in down on Rain and just obviously avoid Henry Station. We did get some scrap out of Rain when we were down there before, right?
You get lots of scrap while you're down on Rain.
Yeah. Problem is going down pretty much ties us into, well, that's how we got caught last time.
Yeah, that's true.
We weren't actively trying to hide the ship last time, though.
Also true.
So we could go down in the shuttle and send the Raza off someplace random in system with a designated rendezvous time.
I don't think sending it off would be a good idea.
Like with a
Yeah.
pilot, I mean.
Still not a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, if we need to GTFO, being able to get everyone on board the fastest is good.
Yeah, we're better off being sneaky.
If we can, if we can be. Well, I mean, dude needs scrap. And the next system's an unknown quantity. Henry Station's out of the question. It doesn't seem like the people down on Rain were really participating in the system in any appreciable way, so I doubt that they would be like, "Oh my god, you're totally criminals." You think? Go down, try and scrounge some more out of another tower?
Well, we still have the lightning rod from the Dead People Tower.
That we didn't finish collecting, yeah.
Let's get that first and then pillage the rest.
Had we finished getting all the scrap out of that place?
Nope. You still had about 10,000 worth of scrap in there.
Okay, so not a huge deal, but certainly nothing to sneeze at. Well, let's give it a shot. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us on the ass. At least that's dude's recommendation. Or, yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Vote.
not 10,000, 100,000.
Oh, shit. Well,
yeah, I
yeah.
know, I was off. It was 10 tons.
By a factor.
Yes. There are
See,
10 tons of scrap still there.
At a 0 and dude gets greedy.
Well, dude can do a lot with 100,000 scrap.
It is not insignificant.
Nope.
So, how are you proceeding?
Well, let's go straight for the components, because if we have to run, at least we're getting something out of it.
Yeah, but that precludes us getting the 100,000 scrap because it would take too long. I think if we snag the lightning rod, the whole place shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we keep that for last.
We're doing.
Was this one of the empty towers?
This
This
is
is the one we had cleared out, right?
the tower
It's
with
the one with the
uh,
virus.
yeah.
Zombies.
Oh,
Zombie
yeah,
tower.
that's fine.
Dead People Tower.
And that's the tower that you were making good progress on it, great progress on it, with 4 people with the fixed skill.
Yeah.
So you would have to take Shishin with you again to try and get that last 100,000 or 10 tons of scrap out in just one day. But do you think you could do it in just one day?
Well, she was being helpful before. I don't see any reason to think that she wouldn't be.
Now she has to earn her keep. But I don't think she wants to be dropped off at her home.
No. Yeah, I feel like that's a hide the ship in orbit-ish, stay stealthy out there.
So the reason that I mentioned that it will take 4 people skilled in fix is you're talking about a situation where your party resources would be best split up. If you want the ship hidden in orbit, it's one thing to just kind of uh, roll the best little hide check that you can, but having somebody actively up there to monitor the various engine emissions and all that will will improve your stealth.
Wouldn't Colleen be a pretty obvious pick for that?
She would be a pretty obvious pick for that, but if she stays with the ship, then you've only got 3 people hauling from the tower. Well, 3 people with a fixed skill.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's only a question of time till we get detected anyway, so we might as well go for speed, get everything we can before we have to run.
Okay. Okay, so all 4 of you are going down. Clark, you staying with the Santa Clarita Raza, or you piloting the shuttle?
I should probably pilot the shuttle.
Okay. And is Nemo going with them as well? Oh, but he has to. He's one of the 4 fixers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Nemo has fixed at +0, so.
Right. He's one of the 4 people with the fixed skill that is improving the speed at which you can strip that tower.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 5 of you go down. Cap will stay on the Raza to as an emergency situation. She feels safe enough that the survivors down there are no longer surviving. That she'll send you guys without her. And you do manage to strip out that last 10 tons of usable scrap over the course of the day. You are all tired and beat at the end of it.
How are
Not
the
really.
zombies doing?
No, they're still all dying. Those that are still clinging,
There's still some of them left.
yeah, there's still some that were clinging, and I believe Cap was putting them out of their misery as she encountered them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 1 or 2 that are just kind of laying on the floor, feebly raising their arms, or sometimes even their fingers, as they detect you passing by. And it would be easy to put them out of their misery too. Go ahead and add 100,000 scrap to your pool. It has been another day. And You can start on the lightning rod on the next day.
No change in the in-system news.
Excuse me. Drinking water is louder than I thought.
Hmm.
No change in the in-system news.
You got messages, Mike.
Okay. Okay.
But yay, lightning rod.
Hopefully.
You guys go back down next day to try and collect the lightning rod.
If that's all that's left, I'd say so, yeah.
All right. You guys make it up to the top floor, and you see all the machinery. You've already salvaged what scrap is salvageable from here. All that's left is the component controlling the lightning rod.
Dude, turns to Colleen while they're heading up. You know, I almost feel bad about this. I mean, I get it, nobody's using this place. But I mean, we take this thing and we are permanently reducing the amount of livable space that exists on this planet.
With all the zombies here, I don't think this will ever be livable again.
Well, I mean, you know, a couple of years down the line, everything inside is dead and sterilized by the environment. Somebody could move in here and start making this place a livable space again.
Then they can just build another lightning rod.
Oh, not unless unless the components for this thing are way more common than it seems like. I doubt it.
Honestly, the way this plant is going, I don't think they'll miss it. But if anyone ever wants to recolonize, they would have to bring the technology with them either way.
I mean, I get it. And I kind of, to a certain extent, I agree with you. That's why we're doing this. If I had true objections, I wouldn't be doing this. It's just a minor twinge of my conscience.
Also, remember Assault Tower? Do you really want those people to breed?
Now, not everyone here is gonna be like that.
Yeah, I think you're tarring a whole planet with a pretty big brush there. I mean, we got a couple of nice folks on our ship that came from here. Been pleasant enough and definitely helpful.
I wouldn't worry about it. It's not like we flew to a tower, just took the lightning rod, and ran away.
No, we killed everybody that was left inside and looted what we could, and then take the lightning rod and went away. That's much better.
They tried to eat us? They were dying anyway. This planet is dying. I don't think anything we do really makes an impact.
Yeah.
We're just picking clean the corpse. There's no coming back for this thing.
And if I remember correctly in the records that you were able to get out, it seems like the problem with the planet is almost self-inflicted, right? Like, didn't they screw up their own environment? Because this was a livable planet before, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was largely Nemo that found that.
Right. Yeah.
We're not worse than what happened to this planet already.
I know. I don't know that I was going anywhere with this. I thought just like I said, just a minor twinge of conscience. I mean, you got to look out for yourself, and we certainly got a ton of our own issues. And taking this lightning rod isn't actually hurting anybody. People are
Yeah,
dead
that's why.
anyway.
Yep, that's why I'm fine with it. That I'm
Yeah.
not advocating going to every tower, just landing on the roof, taking down the lightning rod, and so long, suckers.
Well, I appreciate that.
But we could do it to asshole tower. They definitely have it coming.
Well, a small proportion of the people that we encountered from that tower have it coming. I seriously doubt the entire population of that whole place is just like that one shithead that's running it.
True. That's that. But that's why we're not going there. But I think
Yeah.
we're just picking clean a carcass here, and I don't think this place will ever do anything for anybody.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm trying to reassure myself that we're still decent people, despite evidence to the contrary by the universe at large. I don't know, man.
Wasn't it you who said whoever we're before, it doesn't matter, it only matters what we do now?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I
I say that. That doesn't mean it's always 100% what's exactly in my heart and mind, but it's
Oh,
got doubts.
sounded reasonable enough.
It was. I meant it when I said it, and I mean it now. What we did before doesn't matter a goddamn thing. I'm just trying to,
Well, let's go
you know,
with that then. What we did before doesn't matter, and right now we're not hurting anybody.
no.
If anything, it's people who are shooting at us constantly.
We do tend to engender that reaction in people. All right. Well, let's get this done. No
Okay,
point in dilly-dallying.
with the skill that you have available in your crew. There we go.
If it helps ease your moral conundrum regarding the situation, then it is highly likely that life on this planet is doomed as it is.
I
Considering
suppose.
the extremely hostile environment and the limited survival options, and the fact that the majority of these people neither possess the resources nor ability to actually repair or manufacture the technology their survival depends on, it is highly likely that they will be dead within a handful of generations.
I'm not sure you're making him feel better reminding him that this is technology they can't reproduce. That we're taking from this planet.
I kind of understand where he's going with it. Taking one or two of these isn't going to make a much of a difference in the long run.
In fact, the argument could be made that we're making far more of a difference in these unfortunate people's lives by not not assisting in an evacuation process, which we could easily do.
Well, hell, we offered that, but that's where we ran into asshole Tower and the people that were just planning on taking our ship and leaving us. So
Still wonder what their plan was supposed to be. They would have taken the shuttle, flown up to a ship that, in theory, can hold 200 people, and then they would have tried to take it over.
I get the
Nope.
impression that would have ended up being the 1% of people who got the wherewithal would have gotten away with our ship, and they would have fucked off and left behind everybody else.
Oh no, I'm just saying they didn't know that, but just us. They had no way of knowing that our ship wasn't filled to the brim with crew.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
actually one
we
of the
call it
questions that the
asshole.
kid
Through.
asked.
Hmm?
It's actually one of the questions that the kid asked.
Mm-hmm. But regardless, we would easily be capable of evacuating the remaining towers over a period of a few months. If we were so inclined.
Yeah. Well, we call him Asshole Tower. We didn't exactly call him Intelligent Tower.
Well, too late to worry about it now.
Well, you ain't wrong about that.
Hey Nick, remind me, um, you and M, plus 2 hours or plus 3 hours? Are you Eastern?
Yes,
Okay, so
that's
M should
3
actually
hours.
be arriving fairly soon.
Yes.
She said about 1:15 her time, so
Yes.
soonish.
Yeah, I believe that meeting was at like 12, and she said she was kind of trying to be done by 1.
Okay, cool.
So it's 10 minutes after 1. So yeah, soonish.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you there. I was just keeping
That's
track
fine.
on time. Continue.
On the bright side, we might even get to loot another tower. Still have some left.
You got an interesting perspective on Brad's side. Yeah, no, I'm on the same page. I was just hesitating on turning it.
Well, look at it that way. Our fortunes have wildly improved. Nobody's shooting torpedoes at us.
Yeah. Never that much fun being on the run for your life. Yeah. Nah, let's do it.
You guys have enough specific expert skill and combined skill that I'm not even going to ask for a skill check. It only takes a bit of about a half hour to power down the rod so that it doesn't just fry you as you reach in. Um,
That's a good thing.
um, insulated, of course. Basically take all the safety precautions and get that all important component out. You could hook up a battery to this rod or to the machinery that the rod is connected to keep the power on for a couple of hours, but you guys don't really need it. You're already in vac suits. um, you've been through this tower enough to know which doors are jammed open, so even if all the doors closed,
I was gonna say we have the blueprints of the entire place.
yeah, you guys don't even need to keep the power on. That was an option if you guys had gone about this differently. So you've got another energy transferring component. It essentially has the same description as the last one. Pretext circuitry designed for directing and modifying energy. Now is times 2. And I'll go ahead and edit that for you,
Okay.
since I'm already looking at it.
Huzzah.
You now have enough components that you could, instead of repairing a cannon, upgrade your spike drive. Now you guys have put yourself in a position where you have to make decisions.
Run or shoot. Run or shoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now we actually need Cap.
Hence why I was asking about the time frames.
I put my index finger and thumb on the Cap's lips and kind of move them up and down so it looks like she's talking and say, spike drive.
And it's not even so much running. It's having those additional options of where you approach a system from. If you know that a system is being blockaded from the direction of the system you're in, then you just go to another system and drill in from there.
Yeah.
It also allows you to skip systems that you know you don't want to bother with.
Nice.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for Emma, that there only took a bit of your morning. You can decide to move to a different tower or start leaving this region of space.
Let's go to another one.
I certainly wouldn't object to running a scan on another tower just to see.
Well, we still have the scans.
Okay.
Still have the freezer hut and the mining tower.
You know of Skywind Tower, also marked as Asshole Tower. You've been to Spooky Tower, which was Beacon Industries. And you've been to Terracom Global, which was Dead People Tower. You've still got Smiling Tower and Freezer Hut.
Did you hear my question? I think I might have muted myself.
Oh, I did not. I'm sorry.
Do you need a gravity well to come out of metaspace?
You do.
Okay. All right. That answers the further questions, or
Okay.
rather invalidates them.
And
Yeah, it's worse.
just
You actually need a star.
gravity well. Any sufficiently large gravity well. The author actually even goes in to say that things like planets and asteroids, no matter how large they get, just really can't generate the type of gravity necessary.
Oh, so
Yeah.
if we could use our scopes to find a rogue asteroid somewhere,
No.
have
Do
a
No, it
not
doesn't
have-
work.
little pirate. Oh, what was that?
Yeah, I said they do not work. They do not have
Oh.
sufficient
Oh,
gravity.
do not have. Oh, we need a rogue planet.
Yep.
Would
Planets
planet
don't.
be enough?
No, planets don't even have enough.
Oh.
It has to be the gravity well of a sun, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that
Okay.
weakens the barrier enough so you can even do it.
Mm-hmm.
So a black hole, and even a rogue
Yes,
black hole.
A black hole would work as well.
I was just thinking. I was just thinking black hole, but then I was also thinking that could, be playing with a double-sided sword there.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily a good idea, just that it would work.
Well, now one of the properties of the spike drive is that you cannot overshoot the gravity well. You can still go skip through a system if your spike drive is sufficient enough, because your metaspace route is not actually taking you through that gravity well. You're going around it through the weird twisted metaspace ways. But what it means for black holes is you come down at the edge of that gravity well where the barrier, or the transition point, where you're not going to get sucked into the black hole. You're far enough out that the gravity is at that point the gravity is the same strength as it is when you come into a regular solar system. You're just quite a bit farther away from the black hole than you are from a regular star. So black holes aren't specifically a bad idea. And your GM has even done quite a bit of research to find out that there could even be habitable planets orbiting black holes.
It's technically
Wow.
possible.
That.
For a given value of habitable.
Well, yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, if there's I forget what's called, the gas around it, it gives off light. That's what you usually see, not the black hole itself.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
there could be
The
enough
accretion
light for a
disk, yeah.
planet. Yeah.
Well,
It could
go-
be, but that'd be a very narrow margin of likelihood, and I don't know how long it would last on the galactic scale.
Going
of
into the
things.
science of it, a planet's habitability has more to do with the transfer of heat than how much light and heat is actually hitting it. So if the planet has its own internal heating, then it can...
Yeah, I don't know if that would ever be enough. That'd be
Well,
one hot planet.
the articles that I've read were actually talking about the difference between cosmic background radiation and the planet as being sufficient for not great life, but sufficient for human habitation with technological aid.
Yes,
Um,
but by that, if we're setting the bar for habitable there, then there are very few planets that aren't.
well, look, that's also part of the conceit of this system. I mean, look at Rain Lalotti and Mona.
Yeah.
Mona has
I mean-
no edible anything or water that you guys have seen,
Yep.
but they're still surviving somehow on technology between between 100 years more advanced than ours and 1,000 years more advanced than ours. With
Venus and Mercury are also habitable with technological assistance.
right.
Mhm.
They could easily be habitable by these people, and also keeping in mind that those technological advances reached kind of a critical hyperspeed at a point about 400 to 500 years from our current technology right now. So any planet that had that level of tech um, can probably sustain itself through just about any of these adverse planetary conditions. And trust me, this book lets you roll some pretty damn adverse planetary conditions. Holy fuck. You guys haven't even seen, and Jeff, I'm sad you're gonna miss some of them, but there are some spectacular combinations that I've had to try and figure out how the fuck do people live here.
They just spend their entire lives upside down, obviously.
Makes total sense to me.
Tide lock is always a fun one.
Yeah.
I kind of have one of those, except it's not tide locked with water or any
Most
fluid.
tide lock, by the virtue of how
Ah.
tide locking works, most tide lock planets have no water. They'll have a lot
Oh,
of ice on one side and nothing on the other.
oh, I was thinking. Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, tide lock is when the same side always faces the sun.
I was thinking the tide lock. For some reason, my brain went to the body of water is literally following the next largest point of the largest point of gravity. So it's constantly washing and just
Constantly,
tidal
searching
waving.
across the planet.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
that's literally how high tide and low tide work with our moon, just on a smaller scale.
Right.
But no, the tide lock is the same side always faces the sun.
Yeah. Believe me, that is not a challenge, or that's not even on the scale of how do I fit this in. That's easy.
Yeah, you
Yep,
just
that's some weird
live
options.
underground or in the equator, or in a tiny band on the equator.
hmm
All right, which tower one do we want to go to next?
What did we have? Smiley and
Yep, Smiling Tower and Freezer Hut.
Yep. And those are the names Colin gave them based on various properties they
yeah,
exhibited.
I remember. Yeah. Doesn't Smiling Tower have like holes in it?
It
Yep.
looks Pac-Man-like.
That would make it easier to get into. Just saying.
Yeah, though probably more dangerous on the inside, but yeah.
Potentially.
Well, let's go there then. Could all do with a smile.
Okay. This does count as moving from one point of interest to another in the same region of space, so it takes 6 hours, no matter what the actual distance between the points are. Um, just as a simple abstraction. And these towers that you located are far enough apart that that's reasonable. So it takes you until about dinner time to get there, unless Clark wants to trim that course. Oh, actually, you're moving at emissions damper speed. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So even if Clark does trim the course, you're going to be getting there at night when you guys are. Well, your day hasn't been particularly stressful right now, but it would still be about time for you to be thinking about sleep. So I'm only
We'll take a nap on the way there.
Okay. Do you guys want to try and get there, trim the course and get there more quickly, and then just jump straight into the looting?
I could try.
I'm
There's
all
no
for low
guarantee.
profile though.
With the emissions dampers on, that's more or less taken care of. Trimming the course isn't necessarily going to ruin that. The risk of trimming the course is if Jeff doesn't roll the full amount. If Jeff doesn't make it, then it takes twice as long to get there. This is not a spike drill. This is the check that I thought was the spike drill and was not.
Emma says she'll be here in 20 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so that.
We believe it, Jeff.
Okay. What did I roll for it then?
It's a difficulty 9 pilot check.
It. Right.
Yep.
And actually, that 6 hours is modified by your spike drill rating, so it's really only 3 hours doubled back up to 6 for the emissions damper.
Pilot. So I get to add one for the spike drill thing.
Nope. This is just a successful pilot skill check.
Damn it, Jeff. We believed in you.
Well, the dice decided they were going to be finicky.
Apparently.
You get a longer nap.
You do get
Yep,
a longer nap.
12 hours.
Yeah.
We get 12 hours now.
Which puts you right at 6 a.m. of the next day, so it works out to give you a full day for work. I didn't actually expect Emma to leave like right at 1 o'clock.
Well, that was the plan.
Hey guys, I'm here for lunch. I will only be here for 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
No more, no less. Alright, you guys rest overnight. You are only 3 days away from your next puzzle box check, Colleen.
Yay.
Would you like my help? Since I got mine done and all?
No, I like the adventure.
And you arrive at what Colleen dubbed as Smiling Tower. Let me pull up my note here. It became called Smiling Tower because she's right. There is a wide circular tower missing a chunk from top to bottom. Looking just at the energy signatures as a top-down view, it looks rather like a Pac-Man smile. And that's all through the clouds, so let's go ahead and see if Clark manages to skip the zap. This is just a regular 2d6 pilot check.
No bonus from Into the Storm.
Nope, you were getting the roll because of it.
Oh, right. I feel like I bring that up every single time.
You do, but it's okay.
10.
It will be for the last time.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. I actually totally forgot to have you roll it when you guys went down and back up from Dead People Tower, but I'm not gonna go back on that. Alright, things, complications. Oh, 10. Yes, that is sufficient. You avoid the blast. Alright, what you see when you actually get closer to this tower is it wasn't constructed this way. It appears to have had a full sixth of the circle blasted out by some kind of explosion going all the way from top to bottom, or from bottom to top.
Someone try experimenting with the atmosphere here.
Someone opened the window and was like, "What a beautiful day."
The sun is shining. The air is
Yep, sun's shining, air's exploding.
There is another very
Good morning.
strange feature that you're seeing here just on cursory sensor sweeps. The air inside of this tower is warm, despite it being actively exposed to the atmosphere. And by warm, I mean warmer. It's not. It is
Not
a different
habitable,
temperature. No, it still would be. It would be cold, but it's a different temperature than the surrounding air around all across Rain Lelati, despite that explosion going all the way from top to bottom and just blasting out the wall.
Right. Interesting.
Well, get us closer and we can start mapping the place.
Okay. You get closer, and I can't see how your sensors would not pick this up. There is a very, very thin sheet of heat, very high heat, coming up from the jagged edges of the floor where it exploded out. Almost like there's a heat curtain from the floor to the ceiling of each floor. Appears to be coming up and, well, coming off of and up the internal structure of the walls as well. At least the part of the internal structure, the internal wall structure that is exposed to Rain Lelati atmosphere.
Any transmissions coming from the tower?
There are no transmissions coming from the tower. You can see inside, and you don't see any heat signatures that would indicate life.
Any radiation readings?
No. Nothing except for just the heat, and that curtain. It kind of boggles my brain because the way I understood that particular effect to work is that it's clear that there's a flame coming off of that edge of floor. You can't see the flame, and it's not radiating heat, but the flame itself is hot. That took me half a workday to wrap my brain around.
How hot is it? Dangerously hot, or basically just warmer than Rain Laladi?
It's dangerously hot. If you weren't protected by a vac suit and you touched it, it would burn the fuck out of you.
Okay.
The vac suit is capable of protecting you from extreme temperatures, but that level of heat there will that level of heat and the sudden exposure will sap life support from the suit. It will have to immediately and emergency compensate with cooling. I'll tell you the mechanic behind that is passing through the curtain will lose 1 hour of suit time.
Huh.
But doing a quick scientific analysis of it, it looks like that plume is reducing the amount of cold that's getting inside, which means that the computers and electronics are not all destroyed.
Well, let's do it and be careful about it.
Yeah, that seems like a... I forget, what's the normal max time on our suits fully charged?
Believe it is 6 hours. Nick?
Give me a second.
Okay.
So by that math, how much time could we have inside that environment? Is there even enough time with the suit power we've got to get anything out of there? I mean, unless we find the source of whatever the hell is going on in there.
Yes, it is 6 hours. I found it, Nick.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember how much, what time long did you say would suck an hour of life out of the suit? 10 minutes?
No, an hour.
Wait, so an hour takes an hour of life out of the suit?
No, passing through the plume.
Okay, gotcha.
Just contacting that intense heat is
Okay.
Yeah. You're effectively passing through a wall of fire, and the suit is compensating. But once you're on the other side of that wall of fire, the suit just runs normally.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, Vexo, 12 hours, not a problem though. We just need to bring some spare power cells.
Vac suit's only 6 hours.
Are you sure? Because it says a Vex suit requires one type A power cell for each 12 hours of operation.
Vac suit oxygen tank weighs 1 encumbrance included with the weight of the suit. Okay, so that's the oxygen. Okay. So yeah, I did not read fully. I just saw a number and said, "Oh, that's it."
Yep. And the Vex skin that Colleen has actually runs for 24 hours on a power cell.
Yes, it does. Okay, so it is 12 hours, which means that the plume sucks off 2 hours. it reduces, it sucks off 1/6 of the suit's
I was
energy.
gonna say the plume is percentage based, not numeric.
Yes. Percentage based, as set by the standard vac suit, it will still only be 2 hours for Colleen.
So moving in and moving out takes a third of the suit's usable lifespan, leaving us 2/3 of the suit's normal lifespan to actually get anything accomplished inside.
Yes. So it would give you 8 hours of work within the tower.
Okay. Well, that's workable.
Taking gear through the plume, aside from the vac suit,
Yeah.
will be more challenging.
Well, that stands to reason. Does dude think that he could gin up a carrier that would stand up to that?
Yeah. Just to abstract it, I would also allow each of you to take essentially one item, even if that item is a toolkit. I'm not actually trying to make entering this tower more difficult. I'm just trying to flavor up the fiction here.
Okay.
So don't worry about what it will require to get equipment in there. Just know that your characters are taking special precautions to bring a limited amount of equipment in.
Ah, cool. I can work with that.
Okay. And welcome back, Jeff. Even though that was like 10 minutes ago.
I've been
4
listening.
minutes ago.
Yeah. The bee was a while ago. Well, you want to suit up and let's go in?
Sounds like a plan.
Alright. Who all is going?
I was gonna say, if we want to do a scouting expedition, I don't think we'd take any of our NPCs. I have to imagine Cap would want to be in on this. Dude, Clark, Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be our expeditionary force.
Okay. Nemo?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how it. Sorry, man. I don't know how I forgot about you.
Because he's been quiet.
Pieces of equipment. Pieces
Yeah.
of equipment falls under that.
Oh.
Well, he doesn't. His character does not require healing. He requires maintenance.
In this
Yeah, but I
instance,
imagine we would be.
Nemo would want to wear a vac suit to pass through that plume.
Figured as much.
Yeah.
So as not to melt his face.
Yeah, I mean, he can take it right off if he wants to.
Immediately after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will he melt with his thumb up?
Will he what?
Will he melt with his thumb up?
Probably not.
I'll be back in a second. I'm listening, but
Okay.
gotta be muted.
You make it inside and start looking around, and there is equipment that looks like you can salvage it for scrap. Going over the whole tower doesn't seem like it will be a time-intensive process. You'll probably designate and start hauling what is salvageable as scrap with the first day and be able to finish it up either with some overtime or into the second day. The tower looked like it was basically just a residential tower. It is full of separate rooms with, separate apartment suites um, and shops here and there. The most of the shoppable things have degraded. Um, but you can still, like I said, get a decent amount of scrap out of this with some work. As far as data, it would take a very, very long time to try and figure out what data is valuable in this tower, because they're all more or less personal PCs. Even if you could access them all through a local network, which is not active anyways, you'd have to rebuild it. You'd still be going through personal PC files.
Could we get a hold of like a residential directory to see who was living there?
And you could probably find something like that, yeah.
Because that way Colleen could refine it down to, let's say, people that were VIPs or kind of important people, and just hit those computers, because nobody wants to raid the computer of, let's say, the janitor.
You never know, he might have some secrets.
Yes, but they died with him.
Most likely, yes.
And chances are all the people he had secrets on died with him too.
Yep, probably.
No, but yeah, would that shave off something of the time if she would invest the time to basically sort it into a VIP section, kind of important people,
It'll take
scientists,
her some
CEOs,
time
things like
to
that.
do that, so it would effectively take her out of the salvaging operation.
Yeah, still, might be worth it. Maybe have enough people to salvage things in the meantime.
Okay.
And she has far less to worry since she doesn't have to worry about oxygen at all.
Right.
So yeah, she would invest the time, because given how well the research data paid off, data is a decent commodity.
Data is a
Then
very
once
good
she's done with
commodity.
that, so she can always help with salvage later.
Okay.
So yeah, she'd do that.
Okay. Go ahead and give me Well, I unfortunately do need to. Nope, I'm not even going to ask you for a hack roll. Go ahead and give me a the program roll to see how well she sorts and filters through the names and selects what she thinks will be valuable PCs for data. Okay. So Colleen spends a couple hours doing that. She's able to beam the data over to the ship since you've got time. And don't have to worry about how she got a data storage unit over. The rest of you are able to salvage about 5 tons of scrap, and you can either try and work practically all the way through the night and get the remaining 5 tons, or just leave it for the next day. You have had to recharge your suits during this process too.
I'd say work through it.
Especially since she's so fresh and has done less work than others.
Well, that, and once again, we are on time crunch.
Okay.
We will be discovered eventually. We will have to run. So this is really get everything we get, and then run for it again.
Okay. You guys are on Colleen's executive decision here. You guys work overtime. If you have the exert skill, you may roll it. If not, you take 1 system strain.
Oh, is that it? Hold on. Did I put... So if I have +0, I have the skill, right?
Yes.
Okay. With con, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright.
You
Yeah.
take 1 system strain.
Ah, well.
I mean, in all fairness, Colleen is working through the night as well. Just
Okay. And even though she's worked less, she's also more delicate, so she's taken the same
Yep.
penalty. Alright. You guys work through the night, several hours into the night, and finish salvaging up the other 5 tons, so a total of 10 tons or 100,000 scrap.
Nice. When I get back into my room for system strain is. I'm pretty sure I have exert.
Okay.
But I have to double check.
While Colleen is in the computers, she kind of is able to identify a little bit more about what happened here, what made this Pac-Man. Looks like the main heating line running along the spine, the elevator spine, ruptured and caused a chain explosion all the way to the top.
fair enough. Cause of death, shoddy maintenance.
Yeah, pretty much.
I imagine that gives me 1 system strain.
It does.
Shoddy maintenance has killed probably as many people as deliberate intention over the centuries.
Case in point, why life on this planet is like doomed.
Yes, shoddy maintenance. I'd probably argue that a lot of the car fatalities that happen just daily, a decent proportion of those would probably be attributed to shoddy maintenance.
Quite possibly.
And if you extend it to on a personal level, lots and lots of people's medical problems are shoddy personal maintenance. So there we go. That's the real killer.
Everything that's classified as a lifestyle disease.
You mean I shouldn't be chugging this canister of sugar?
No, it's okay, Joe.
Yeah, you
Totally
totally
okay.
should if you want to die sooner.
Wait, do you have actual
But I
sugar?
need the calories to stuff.
I thought it was high fructose corn syrup.
It's basically the same thing.
I'm actually drinking one that is sugar-free.
Depends on who you
It's
are.
just
It has corn syrup in it.
Yeah, no, it's got shitloads of caffeine and all kinds of other shit.
It'll still kill ya.
Oh, I'm almost certain.
Interesting. Alright.
If from vitamin overload, then nothing else.
You guys are, more or less done with this tower.
Hey!
Some...
Hey!
Oh, hey, welcome,
Hello.
Emma.
Hello.
You... a quick check at the top floor. The, unfortunately, the lightning rod and the machinery around it is fragged and fried.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing else in the tower that shows evidence of you being pre-tech.
No.
How was lunch?
Really good.
Nice.
Sorry, we
We've-
got talking about her situation and ours, and
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
Yeah,
We've managed to make out like bandits in your absence.
I didn't
that's
actually
always good.
expect that you'd be here right at 10:15. I mean, a lunch hour is never really okay. I'm here for exactly an hour. Very rarely.
Well, I mean, so we were also kind of waiting for another friend of ours to come, and she ended up having her daughter with her. So I think that's what delayed Mom.
Probably. Are you on a different headset than usual?
I am
She's
in the
probably. I think she's in her
car.
car. Yeah.
You're in the car. Okay, I gotcha. So you're still on your way home.
Yeah, but it'd only be like 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
But since I'm in the car, I figured, you know what, I'll just go ahead and
Yep, that's fine.
join the call.
So
We always appreciate your presence.
Does anybody want
That's
to
because
recap for
I am
Emma?
awesome.
You are awesome.
I will certainly not argue that at all.
now, quick question, Mike. I was listening, but I think I missed it. Did we total out at 100,000 scrap, or did we get now? Have we now totaled out at 150,000 scrap?
You totaled out at 100,000.
Okay, so 50,000 the first day, 50,000 the second day.
Yeah, 50,000 first day, 50,000 second part of first day.
Oh right, yeah, we are not even on the second day here. Gotcha.
In your
Are
absence,
we
Emma,
back on Rain Lottie?
Yes.
Colleen is a slave driver.
Yeah, we flew back to Renalati to see, after we were done at Mona to see if anyone was still waiting for us there. And when it turned out that they weren't, we figured that we'd go down and loot some more towers.
Let's actually give Emma a proper recap instead of from the middle. Somebody want to take on that task?
That's kind of where we started. I mean, we'd finished with Mona. We'd gotten everything we needed to get out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, the decision was, what do we do? Do we try to jump through Andois to Z's, or do we stop in Andois and see? We kind of came to the decision of stop in Andois. There's a lot of available stuff there. See if we're actually wanted and if we're actively being hunted in there.
And the answer to the first point is yes. The second point, no.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They left the black box equivalent of wanted posters, but didn't stick around. So we're running on the assumption that Henry Station is off limits, but Rain Lilati is out of the way enough, and as long as we keep the emission dampers up and are relatively quiet about it, we could continue looting and see if we and get some usable stuff. So we've managed to get. We hit the tower that was full of infected people. We finished getting another 100k of scrap out of that. And
disabled the lightning rod.
Yeah. Dude had a bit of a not a crisis of conscience, but a brief moment of, should we really be taking this? We're dramatically reducing the amount of livable space on this planet by taking this lightning rod, because no one's going to be able to settle this tower again afterwards. And
The answer to that was nobody should be living there anyway because of disease.
that was part of it, and well, yeah, he didn't. It wasn't an active. I don't think.
And Nemo pointed out that the people living on the planet are most likely going to be dead within a few generations anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't a true
Inbreeding.
crisis of conscience. It was just him expressing a little. I almost feel bad about this, but we're still doing it anyway.
Clark, on the other hand, got his personal lifetime achievement.
He did.
Yes.
Clark managed to open his puzzle box and found himself a pair of Spurs.
Yep.
Real Spurs.
With words written on them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Words that are attached to a face. A face that looks like his face.
Mm-hmm. That was wearing, the uniform of our enemies.
That seems like a conversation that Clark and Cap can have once Emma's actually back in her comfortable home.
Yeah.
It'll be a real long conversation.
So
Does it end with a
mean,
bang?
yeah.
Yes, that ends in a bang.
Oh, I hope not.
So in the meantime, we are continuing to loot. We're moved on to looting the Smiley Face Tower, which had some interesting environmental issues.
Which is on fire.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
It is
But
on fire.
only
Yes.
at the edges where the building is broken. It's not on fire at the outer walls, just where the building, like internal structure, is exposed to Rain Lilati.
So it still has oxygen.
No, once we got past the fire curtain, it was uninhabitable.
Yeah, it has warmth inside of it, so that's how you're getting scrap out of it.
Yeah. We still need vac suits, but we don't need... Yeah. But only for oxygen, not for cold and shit.
And to get
Okay.
in and out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting place, seemingly.
For those interested in the science there, that's basically a hydrogen fire.
Invisible, yeah.
Or wait, not
Interesting
hydrogen
thing.
fire, sorry. An oxygen fire. I should sit down and look at notes before I say words. Yeah, it's basically an oxygen fire, which is invisible and very hot, but oddly does not actually radiate that heat. It's just hot at the fire. And so it's, for Emma's benefit, it's creating a fire curtain all the way up and down where the building exploded outward, and keeping
Well, I'm
more...
getting-
Huh?
That's what I was saying. My signal here degrades.
I figured you're breaking up. Okay.
I'll talk
Let's...
to you.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you soon. You guys are tired.
I bet. Sounds like oxygen fire would be a lot like that methanol fire in the that Talladega Nights was making fun of,
Yes.
which was a thing that totally happened and burnt the shit out of a bunch of people with invisible fucking fire.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I mentioned that in Discord as I was reading into it. I'm like, I discovered that oxygen fire is invisible. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's terrifying is what it is.
So you're done with this tower and can move on. Since Clark was staying with the shuttle, he was probably still keeping himself awake, I'm guessing.
I guess.
Or
yeah.
did he let himself nap to try and keep alert later on?
I mean, do I need to stay awake?
I think I was confused myself. Clark was helping with the hauling, wasn't he?
I think I was.
Okay, I mean,
Ideally,
Does anyone need to stay with the shuttle?
Is there a risk of is there an actual risk of someone coming by and stealing it?
doesn't seem to have been that much of a risk so far. And
Except
yeah,
that one time.
you can clamp it to the side of the building here, as long as you're not clamping it to something that's... Well, actually, no. That heat wouldn't even be that significant for the shuttle.
I say, if that thing can survive atmospheric friction on entry, then this is nothing.
Yeah, no, it's easy enough to get the shuttle clamped and hovering so that Clark can help, and also that's the only reason he would have needed to make the exert check.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, in a zero-G environment, almost any fire is virtually invisible.
Yeah, and also really weird.
Yes.
They've only played around with it very carefully on the ISS.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super controlled experiment.
Circular and almost invisible and blue.
Yep.
Like probably really cool, but yeah.
Well, I'm not worrying too much about the timing here. It is going to be another day as soon as Jeff makes a pilot check to get through the clouds. Take your scrap back. Unless you want to take the shuttle directly over to the other tower.
Saves time, I guess, but
Yeah.
It wouldn't save time. It would save resources. The shuttle is slower than your ship. Because it effectively has a drive 1. It doesn't even have a spike drive. It has a drive 1 for purposes of traveling around. So it takes 6 hours to get to the next tower, where you can do it in 6 because of emissions damper.
But we can do it in 6 because of emissions damper, whereas wouldn't it take twice as long for somebody else?
No, it would. Well, yeah, you could do it in 3, but you're doing it in 6 because of emissions damper.
That, and he could try to trim the course again.
He could. Yep.
Might be worth it. At best, short rest. At worst, longer rest.
all right, sure.
So you guys are just gonna go straight over in the shuttle?
I figured we were repositioning the ship. Unless, question, if we just go over with the shuttle, from that new tower to the ship, is that a longer way, or
Technically, no.
equidistant?
Gameplay mechanics, no. It's still the same 6-hour abstraction. But that's easily... well, yeah, I guess that would be 6 hours back. That's easily compensated by simply saying, okay, we have the ship pilot around so that it's hovering above us also. So you can
let's go
have
for that.
Tom just move the ship real quick, so that he's above the same tower.
And with Tom flying, what's that burning star in the sky? Oh, wait. It's getting bigger. Yeah, let's do that. Unless everybody else doesn't want to.
I don't hear any objections.
Seems okay to me.
Yep, Colleen is still advocating speed over everything else, because we can always rest later.
Has Colleen made herself a tiny holographic whip?
There, in all fairness, there's a gun drone in the ship. She doesn't need a whip. It's a barrel pointed at people.
Yeah, that are also armed themselves, because we didn't go into this place unarmed. Is that how our interactions are going to be?
Okay, now,
At
kids.
gunpoint?
All right.
Who did the dishes last? I'm pointing my gun at you. Christ, can you imagine family arguments if everybody was armed?
So, like the South?
Jethro, you get your ass in here. I'm gonna ankle.
You guys are at capacity as far as cargo space on your shuttle. So if you find anything else at
Okay, in that case,
I was gonna
back
say
to the ship.
that would be a distinct thing to know about. Yeah.
Yes, in that case, yeah, back to the ship to unload.
Okay.
There's no point going over there if we can't haul things out of there.
All right. Let's get a avoid death roll from Clark.
Okay, so just a pilot roll.
Yeah.
With a bonus of 5.
Welcome back, Emma.
Hey, Cap.
Why, Clark? Why?
I mean, it's not. I mean, considering what I rolled, it's not bad.
Your shuttle takes 1 damage to the lattice. Did you say that you had repaired one of those that
Yes.
missing point?
Yeah, Colleen
Yep.
had.
And you took
Oh,
the scrap off to do it?
I have not taken off the scrap yet.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take that scrap off, put you back over to 190,000. Oops, I guess I gotta click edit first. And how much did you put towards the phase charge cannon?
So far only the 100,000, and I had taken that off.
Okay, so you didn't work
Because
on
I
it
had
anymore?
taken off 50 at one point.
Well, yeah, no, we had taken off 50, and then we did another 50 while
Mm-hmm,
we were in progress, and I took that off. But hadn't done any more because once we got back in actual system, I worked on ship hit points, and then we got distracted with other stuff. So now I haven't worked on it. So
Oh,
it's
and
been a total of 4 days work.
since you're here now, there was a decision to be made what to do. We have the components to basically either keep working on the
Right.
damn gun or upgrade the spike drive.
Yeah.
So either be better at running away or have guns.
Yes.
Have
exactly.
gun. Yeah.
Well, gun.
The
yes.
spike drive comes with the added advantage of getting places faster even when not running, and being able to get to places from different angles that aren't necessarily being covered.
On the bright side, the gun would mean we don't always have to run.
Mhm.
Which is like our only option right now.
The downside of that is we may not be welcome on Mona again.
Did they not want it? They welcomed us when they thought the gun did work.
Yeah,
The
weren't
first
they
time.
happy about it for the Mutual Defense Pact?
That was a conversation that I had wanted to have with our friend before we
Right.
left.
Oh, I remember you'd said that you wanted to have a conversation with him, but I wasn't sure if you actually wanted that to be an interim scene or.
It can be, and we can take care of it later.
Okay, sounds good.
But we'll hold off on the decision of the spike drive of the weapon until that happens. Fair?
If it's if it would be a problem, couldn't we just disable the gun before approaching Mona?
Don't know how good their sensors are.
Pretty good.
Keep in mind your guys' scanning capabilities. You can tell when a weapon is being charged up to fire. You can tell when a weapon is destroyed. You can tell what visible weapons are there. You can't tell if a visible weapon is disabled. With the
Couldn't we just-
exception being if it was your shot that actually disabled it.
Couldn't we just remove something incredibly obviously needed, like the barrel? I mean,
Dismantle and repair our gun every time we have to land.
if it
Let
takes
me have that conversation. I'm
Oh.
sorry, lunch was unexpected. I had really been aiming for Saturday.
I also do have not an answer for you, Mel, but more information regarding your question. It would be very inefficient. The gun tech is so far advanced that trying to dismantle parts of it like that, it's not quite like just unscrew the barrel. And I know that I'm simplifying that quite a lot, but it's better analogy. Think of it like Nemo's parts. He's got tech and code and lines that go all the way through all of his systems. Yeah, you technically could take off his leg from the knee down, but he is being damaged by that, even though it's technically detachable.
Yeah, but that was the point. That was the exact point of damaging it, so it's not operational, and then repairing it afterwards.
It would just be incredibly costly.
Yeah, and that's not worth it. So I will have my conversation and get back to you.
Okay. I may have 3 conversations today.
There you go.
Alright. So the shuttle is at 90% now. I've taken off the repaired, the scrap used to repair it up to 100% last time, and it's been damaged again. You guys go back to the ship, unload, and bunk down for a couple hours, or a few hours, before it is the next day, and you can approach that last tower if you like.
Happy raiding.
Have fun storming the castle.
Well,
what
don't
do we see? Yeah.
Don't kill us, Cluck.
I'll try not to. Am I rolling again?
You're rolling again.
Roll to not die. Okay.
Hey!
Press X to not die.
That was a good roll to not die. Okay. You approach a very... It's odd to call a tower that reaches the clouds squat, but that really is the best description of it. It's a squat and blocky and imposing tower. As you get closer to it, you see it is clearly labeled Central City Penitentiary.
Ooh,
And
it's a prison tower.
it is a prison tower, a very tall prison tower.
Are there people?
Well, Colleen named this Freezer Hut.
There are meatsicles inside.
Yeah. So
you,
frozen prisoners.
Maybe we can process them and sell them to Mona.
I don't think they eat people.
Not all of your crew is certain about that.
In
Yes,
fact,
I
I
know.
thought I was gonna say. In fact, the idea that they're not might be the minority opinion.
Cap did relay the message that what's her name was safe.
Yeah, she did.
So they didn't eat her.
Well, Cap didn't actually see Koana.
No, but she's willing to take their word on it.
Your scans and sensors tell you that this building has atmosphere, and there's an emergency generator or 2 still running, but it is internally the same temperature as external, so there won't be any data to be collected unless there's a
Worm
shielded,
room like the other.
Yep, a server room that was protected.
I knew it. I always figured we'd end up in prison.
Some of us may have already been there.
I was gonna say. Feel like that might be something in our past.
Well, let's start taking things apart. At least we don't have to worry about the generators, cause with the cold we need the suits anyway.
You do need a
So
way in though,
Yeah.
and with it having atmosphere that isn't strictly hydrogen, it is an explosive risk.
Can Colleen do what she did before and gain us entrance?
It will be much more difficult this time. This one is a secured government building. It is a prison.
Somehow I knew that was going to be the answer.
Any transmissions coming from it?
There are no transmissions coming from it.
Okay.
In Colleen's opinion, how difficult?
This is the type of structure that I actually gave you I wrote a handout for you, Nick, even though you don't need it. So I wrote a handout for me, Nick. There is a new hacking handout over there with all the modifiers so that neither of us have to go flipping through the book, as well as a couple of additions for myself. And the advanced security system protecting the wireless network is technically in the book, but not given a number. It simply says makes it prohibitively difficult. And I figured a +2 modifier on that is about right. That should be major government. So that this would be a +2 modifier from being a major government. And would require line shunts placed to be able to defeat redundancy systems.
Yeah, that was the bigger question, because there's no point trying to get inside that way if I have to be inside to place a line shunt to get inside.
For that...
Too bad we can't just have you arrested.
Well, doesn't seem like it's an active prison.
Well, yes.
To defeat the mechanisms that are keeping the shuttle and cargo doors closed, you wouldn't have to be inside. You could place 2 line shunts outside at specific points, as long as you can get to the terminal, defeat the freeze on the terminal, and access what the generators are powering. The generators are still running, and oxygen is still inside, so you know that you have a reasonable guess that lightning rod is still functional.
That's good.
Well, the tower's still standing, so
cut away in.
You good?
What, Mel?
I said the tower is still standing, so that would be a good hint that the lightning rod is functional.
Yeah.
I don't think the lightning rod actually prevents the destruction of the building. It just means they get power.
I figure if lightning was hitting it, it might start blowing chunks out, and then once atmosphere's in, that thing is done.
Well, once the lightning rod, if the lightning rod actually goes away, then the lightning isn't quite as attracted to the building. Yes, it would still get struck. So Mel does make a good point. There's no evidence of lightning damage to the building. So you've got a lot of information indicating that the lightning rod is still active up there.
All right.
Still drawing the lightning, and it's still causing the whatever ice was left up there to crack into oxygen. There must be some internal regulation system also, otherwise it would have probably run out of ice at some point.
Yeah. Might be easier to just fashion like an emergency gateway and then just cut through. You do have a mining laser?
What's the risk?
Boom.
Yeah, we do it wrong, it goes boom.
Yeah.
risk.
Do we really have a less risky option, though?
What did you ask, Mel?
No, I just said it was a pretty substantial risk.
Yes.
I didn't ask. It was my question.
Okay.
We're pretty good engineers. I mean, if we could try hacking, the problem is it would use parts we have such a hard time getting our hands on.
Yeah, I'd really rather not go that route. I mean, honestly, how badly do we need this? Let's do risk versus reward.
Well, if it all blows up, we get nothing. In that case,
And
we
we're
don't have
also
to worry about
dead.
it. No, not if we do it from a decent distance.
You think that's
I don't
likely?
think the mining laser is that long distance.
I think Colin may be referring to a mining drone.
No,
She doesn't
One of
want to
those?
lose a drone like that.
she doesn't have one that does it. I mean, you could use a Void Hawk and just have a breaching gauge. No, the idea is basically, if there is basically an airlock out through the outer layer, fashion some sort of emergency, basically replacement door, then cut through the second one. That way we keep that whole thing intact. And if we do it from a decent enough distance, and worst, it blows up, we get nothing. If it works, then we get scrap. And if it blows up, there might still be some scrap inside, so. Because that thing is a prison, so it should be at least fairly sturdy. And we're obviously not getting too much of the electronics anyway. But yeah, the reward is we get nothing versus just leaving, which leaves us with nothing. The alternative is trying to hack it, which means 2 out of the 3 line shuns we have, which are really hard to find, which means
Difficult
we don't have
to
them.
obtain.
Yeah, which makes it really bad if we really need them somewhere else. So they're better used for something more productive. So we could at least make the attempt.
I mean, you
But
make
yeah,
a valid-
alternatively we leave and we get nothing, so.
I mean, you make a good point. How confident are you in? I mean, I'll help. Do whatever I can to make sure this goes off okay.
I think between the 2 of us we can fashion something?
Well, and hell, you've been kind of running circles around me on the workbench sometimes, so I think we got a pretty solid chance. You want to spend the time doing this, Cap? I mean, more pre-tech salvage is one more thing towards getting everything working. We can get the more, if we can get, well, hell, I mean, we only get one more pre-tech salvage. That still leaves us halfway towards getting both the things we want fixed.
Assuming it's the right kind of pre-tech salvage.
Well, yeah,
Well, there's a lightning rod.
and that's been pretty damn useful for what we're at least working towards. And well, hell, I mean, if it came down to it, if it didn't work for us, we can try selling some of it. It's pretty valuable stuff.
Yeah, even if we can't use it. I am sure that would be something that the Monans might trade us for. And quite a bit.
Yeah, they seem to have the, they certainly have paid well.
Maybe we can trade it for a mech?
Cap will look at Colleen and just say, out of curiosity, can you change Black Box registration?
No. That's the reason we had to get one.
We didn't have one. That's why we had to get one.
Well, I sure you rigged one, but no, there's no way in those things. Otherwise, everybody would do it. However, you get me to a place where they code those things and then print them, and I can make a genuine one.
I don't know if they can do that on Mona or not. We'd have to really earn some.
That'd be a hell of a thing if we had like just swap in. Oh, hey, we're just an innocent cargo hauler, and then swap back into we are the great and terrible Raza.
Well, we're the great and terrible Santa Clarita.
Which is pretty great and terrible too.
Yes, according to that rap sheet.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they
Anyway, was just a idle thought.
No, and
It ain't a bad
unfortunately,
thought.
if it was possible, I would have done it.
You know, they may be able to do that, help us with that at some
I mean,
point.
we can
Maybe
always-
willing to help us with that.
I can always rip out the black box again and sure rig something.
I think that would
As
make
I
us
said-
look even more suspicious.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Hopefully, nobody from Henry Station comes this way.
Haven't
Anyway.
seen any of that touristy shit.
I'm not sure how much Union cares. That's the big question. Do they really care about enforcing what the Galactic Mandate puts out? So,
I mean, if it can make them some money, I'm sure that they'll be more than willing to hand us over. Unfortunately,
I think I heard Mel trying to say something.
Did the wanted posters mention anything about a reward, actually? No, they don't.
Poor. I think that was a thought I had when writing them, and then wasn't really clear on the scale of economics, and so decided that there was no number on them.
otherwise we could make such big bank. We sell half the crew.
Yeah, that was
And
another
that-
consideration that I had, was I don't want you guys trying to sell each other.
No, we sell half the crew. And then the half that sold them breaks them out again.
I was gonna
we
say
try to a different system and pull it again.
Yeah, you run it as a scam. We've turned in these wanted criminals. Oh no, they escaped.
Well, any reward would only be credited upon arrival at the Galactic Mandate prison facilities.
Well, yes,
Yep.
you get them inside the prison and then you just change your prison break. Not saying it's easy, but it is a business model.
Okay.
maybe if we had all of our weapon systems working.
Yeah, if we had this ship running at full power, that'd be a pretty solid scam to run.
I think they'd be onto us eventually, though. So
It's a big galaxy.
That's
apparently
yes.
not big enough.
I think probably more of onto it immediately.
Yeah, but news only travels by black box, so
that's why I'm saying that the reward is only given at the actual central Galactic Mandate facility. So you might be able to pull it once, but then you wouldn't be able to do it again at the same facility, which is the only place that you get a reward from.
we'll go to the bounty hunters. I sell these people to you for half price. You can
Well,
collect the
okay.
reward. I don't want to transport them.
Don't ask any questions, just pay.
Payment is received. Thank you. Hands up.
Anyway,
Any who's a wazzle.
yeah. All right, fine. Let's try to make a small enough leak where we can vent this thing and get in without blowing ourselves up.
All right. Colleen,
Oh boy.
I'll help you out. You take the lead on this.
Alright, let's fashion an emergency alarm.
All right.
We're all gonna die.
Analyzing the internal structure of the building with the tools that you have, there aren't any locations where you could make a hole, and the structures on the other side, on the inside, are airtight. This building does not appear to have been fully retrofitted for the Rain of the Lottie freeze. There are no airlocks integral in the construction.
That kind of makes sense.
Oh, that actually makes it easier. So the entrance, so it's basically just a normal door, so to speak. I mean, a high security door designed to not have people just walk out, but if it's not an
Yes.
airlock type, then it's just basically a single layer.
Yeah. I mean,
That
it
makes
is
it-
thick because it's a penitentiary.
Well, yes, but yeah, that makes it easier. The idea is basically just like they do now. If you have to go to an environment, you fashion like an emergency bubble around it, drain that bubble, and then we can just cut through the door, and then you use that basically the door on the bubble to get in and out. So we just basically put an airlock into place and cut through the door.
Yeah, well, that's what the Expanse does. That with the airlock, you
Yep.
slap a bubble onto the side of the ship, go into the bubble, and then cut in from there. So it's your own airlock from the outside in.
Yep.
Okay.
And depending on how our shuttle looks, I don't know, is it flat at the end? Because we could technically fashion a tunnel basically from the shuttle to that if we wanted to. That's easier to do.
No, the shuttle's too awkwardly shaped because of the Faraday egg.
Okay,
That makes
but
sense.
yeah, the general idea is still emergency airlock, and then we use that and just cut through the door.
Wow, now I get the fun job of figuring out what that's gonna cost you. You guys suck.
Yeah, we do have a tendency to do that.
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry, not sorry?
Yeah,
He put the
no,
prison there.
you guys
He
aren't
made it
s-
difficult. Could have had an airlock. No. Could have
So-
been hackable. No.
So I find it interesting that the guy that made this system wouldn't have thought of something like that.
Yeah, that is kind of a that seems like an oversight.
I know that external emergency airlocks have been a thing in basic sci-fi and lots of other things, but yeah,
Well,
I guess he just
let's-
didn't think of it. Well, he's got the boarding tubes. But
We could have looked at it that
that's
way.
a starship fitting.
Well, that and he has the
Well-
Insta panels.
I was looking at the Insta panels, but you guys don't have any of those. That was going to be my first
Nope.
question: is do you guys have Insta panels? But
No, we don't have something we can just slap on there. That's why I said we have to build it.
right. And asking, do you guys have Insta panels would make it sound like that was required, which I didn't want to do.
No, the Insta panel just would have made it easy. This is not easy. This is time intensive. And costs parts.
Well, how about this? I'll let you spend some time in construction and utilize a vac skin to fashion up basically a tin tent or steel tent, whatever you want to call it. I thought tin tent is clever. But that would actually allow you to effectively pass in and out and regulate the atmosphere inside as needed.
Can
But
we do it with vac suits?
You can't do it with vac suits, The reason I'm allowing you to do it with a Vac Skin is because Vac Skin is TL5, and considerably better than Vac Skins. It has the necessary properties. If you don't want to do it with the Vac Skin, then you can try rigging something up that would require some rolls.
I say rig something. I mean, here's the question: would it destroy the Vac skin?
It would destroy the Vac Skin, yeah.
Let's rig something up. We only have 2 Vac skins, and those things are
Impossible to replace at this point.
yeah, impossible. It's the same logic like with the line shunts.
Yeah.
Those are things we can't replace, and that's super hard to get. Those things are worth it. So
Okay.
let's rig something up.
The other side
Also,
of that coin
I
is
believe in
that
rigging up.
rigging something up will take considerably longer.
Yes.
What's considerably longer?
Considerably longer is going to depend on your fix rolls. Unfortunately, I know that you guys are limited to fix 2, which is.
Oh yeah, fix 2, but Colleen's got higher end.
I'm only referencing that because I've done it before. It's that is the level of your actual skill, regardless of how well you roll or how intelligent you are.
Right.
That is the best measure of your experience with those types of with that skill. So it could be.
I mean, 2 is still better than expert 1, respected even by those with considerable experience. I believe in us.
Yes, it is respectable. Yes.
Seeing how 3 is master of the skill, like
take
one of the
up to a
best on the
week.
planet.
It could take up to a week to construct this.
Woof.
Jesus.
How comfortable do we feel hanging around in this system for? Not
Cap's
We've
not
been here
gonna
for a couple
say no-
days already.
I mean, if something pops up, we'll run. But-
yeah, but wait, look at how much it took us to run last time.
What's the component cost, or is it just a time cost, Mike?
It'll be a component cost also. You'd be using at minimum 10,000 scrap. That wouldn't increase by much, but that is the minimum. Minimum 10,000 scrap, and maximum time of a week.
Oof.
It'll be split up into 2 parts. One being the it's forged in fire. One being the design phase.
Yeah. Nice.
You'll have a design window, which lasts as long as you need, and a construction window, which also lasts as long as you need. But I'm giving you as a DM note that it won't take you more than a week. It could take you up to a week.
I'm not sure I want to stay in the system that long.
I kind of agree with you, Cap.
I mean, we're
greatly increase the
taking.
risk of being spotted.
Yes, because we just left here.
And the ship is very distinctive.
Yeah. And while I don't think many folks come to Randolati, obviously enough come. And they know before, so chances are they're gonna check here.
Now,
See if we come back.
I'll tell you that the minimum amount of time it may take could get as low as 2 days. Depending on...
We need some damn good rules for that. Now, we can make the rules and then decide, right?
No, once you're starting to make the rolls, you're already underway and using time.
Yeah, but if it looks in the planning stages like this is going to take us a week, Cap can nix it.
Yeah. You're not committing to either the full week or nothing at all. You can cancel at any point, but you will have spent some time.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shot at a free tech salvage, which we also can't really get. So we tried. We can always cut and run.
Honestly, part of me just wants to blow a hole in this thing and then.
That too was an option, but it might damage the lightning rod. So
It does run the risk of damaging the lightning rod. Or the component inside of it. Nobody cares about the lightning rod, just the component that's making this energy transfer possible.
I mean, from our technical expertise, how bad would it be if we just blow a hole in it? Kind of, what would you estimate the chances of that destroying the one thing we really, really want?
The chances are, I don't want to say they're pretty good, but because we're all math nerds to some extent, so when I say pretty good, it sounds like it's more than 50%. But from an engineer's standpoint, really anything 1% or higher is 5% or higher is a pretty good chance, depending on what the thing is. So the risk you face is that if you just blow a hole and the oxygen within ignites as soon as it hits the hydrogen, and then continues to ignite and just engulfs the entire internal structure in flame. The pressure may just completely shatter the building. The heat,
firework.
Yeah, it'd be a bomb. The heat may crisp the component within its machinery. It's not well shielded from heat once you're at the top floor. So those are probably the two biggest risks to the component that you're trying to get, is that it either gets shattered in the rubble crush that it's falling into, or gets crisped by the fire that's pervading the building. Now, the building shattering is a little bit less likely because it is a very solidly built prison. And because you've seen the structures on Rain Lolati they've got good materials. That's you sold that data to Mona for a very hefty fee. They've got very good materials. So your biggest risk is the crisping.
Yeah, let's not do the crisping.
That sounds like some kind of mythical thing that happens to intelligent pigs, and they talk about it in hushed whispers.
Really? It just makes me hungry.
The crispening.
No,
That's a baconing?
It just makes me hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Colleen votes that's the time, because we can cut and run if things pop up and happen. But the component, in her opinion, at least, is worth it, because we can't get it.
Now, this isn't one of the ones where we can just land on the roof and.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
The buildings that you can land on the roof of, you wouldn't care about because they don't have lightning rods.
Right.
If you guys would like, we're actually getting right up to the end of our time here. We can leave this decision for next time.
Cap's concern is that if they stay here for an extended period of time, somebody's going to come around and find them.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we run.
Yeah, but it takes. I think this time they would just open fire.
They kind of opened fire last time.
Well, we were able to get a jump on getting the hell out.
It is
And they let us get back to our ship.
Yeah, it is approximately one ship combat round for you to even get to your ship from the surface. And that's assuming that you're in the shuttle.
So yeah, whoever's on the ship might be able to cut and run, and then we'd be stuck. Not that they'd be coming down to the surface to get us, but then they might hang out in the area waiting to see if we get rescued.
Yeah, still worth it. Like we're pretty well hidden.
Well, we think. We
Yes.
don't know.
I'd suggest the risk is too substantial, considering that we're not even sure what the reward will be.
Yeah, I feel like kind of like
component.
Well, yeah,
Plus
but I feel
extras.
kind of like that 5-year-old kid that's playing hide and seek and thinks he's really well hidden and doesn't realize his ass is sticking out from behind the sofa. We don't really have any way of knowing.
We'll know if someone gets a detection log.
Well,
If they're an echo
Yes,
scan.
but then we still have to get back to the ship.
Yeah.
The only thing we know for sure is that the people who are hunting us know that we have been here, and this is as likely a place as any to look for us.
Actually, detection log means we've been found.
Yeah. This planet ain't going anywhere. None of the technology in this shit is going.
We can always build it and come back.
Yeah, why don't we table this?
Agreed.
We leave the system. We spend some of our free time, you and me, working on this airlock thing, not sitting in orbit in a hot system.
Let me throw out one more piece of information as a GM, because I feel like it might influence the planning portions of this would all be done on the ship. So it's not like you'd be down here with your, like Matt said, with your ass hanging out inside of the couch. The initial phase, at least, you would be safe and secure in your ship.
But there's no reason why we couldn't just do this work somewhere else, somewhere safer, and then come back. The tower is literally not going anywhere.
Right. You move on to that. See if we can get a quick exploration run in that system we don't know. See if there's maybe more stuff available there. Continue the planning and come back here. I feel like we're pressing our luck.
If we can. Well, we're gonna press our luck anyway by jumping into the unknown.
Yeah.
You do only have one unit of spike drill fuel.
Oh yeah, we used one to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're unlikely to get any fuel from the tower. So.
We can't pick up any into Henry Station.
For me, we can always cut and run, jump back to Mona, refuel, and then go elsewhere.
Do we have anything to sell them for more? We didn't get any more data this time. All we got is scrap, and that's what they had. You know, they don't really need that.
You can always just pay him for the fuel. We got some money.
Yeah, that's true. We did just get paid.
Yeah, bring up the map, the star map for you. Jump into Mona would put you in almost the same situation you're in here.
Well, yeah, because we'd jump to Mona, fuel up, we'd have 2 fuel, we'd jump back here, we'd have 1 fuel, still be, yeah. Mm-hmm. The jump to the disease is a risk, period. Sorry.
We could always suss out the situation at Henry Station.
See how much attention they actually paid to the Galactic Mandate wanted stuff.
There's that.
We haven't detected the mandate folks here, have we?
You have not.
No.
It doesn't seem like it's that easy to hide in a system.
It's
Well,
generally
you're
not.
hidden unless, yeah, I mean,
And as far as the
It's easier if you're a smaller ship.
because as far as we know, they don't give two figs for what the mandate says unless they're there.
Yeah.
According to their records, I'm dead.
I mean, well, hell, if we come in range of their communications arrays and landing protocols, and we get the immediate back off, we'll shoot you out of the sky, we can just leave. Yeah, I'm with Cap on that. I think it's worth a shot. It'll let us know if we got at least another safe harbor.
No, temporarily safe.
Well, yeah.
I also don't want to draw that much attention to Mona.
Mm.
They would probably appreciate that, yes. They seem to value the secrecy and privacy.
it's not like we're telling everybody about Mona.
Well, no, but if we keep going back there frequently,
Yeah.
that could draw some unwanted attention.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm with Cap. I say we give Henry a try.
Okay.
Besides, the trip over will give us, time to plan out our airlock thought.
Alright, is
Alright.
that the plan?
Seems to be the plan.
Let's go ahead and get that, Jeff. The last
Mike.
pilot roll to avoid Rainland Lottie freak weather.
Okay.
Rolled by you.
Roll 2 6s.
Here's your chance to kill us all. Go out with a bang.
Clark avoids the worst of the storm.
Good
Bits
job,
of
Clark.
electrical charges skitter across the Faraday egg, but nothing actually flickers out on the grid.
Right on.
It's going to take 24. Well, you still got your emissions dampers on, so 48 hours to get to Henry Station. Unless Clark wants to
I want immediate scans once we're close enough
trim the
and
course.
see if the mandate's there.
I think we'll take our time.
Oh, Colina's running scans all the way.
Okay. Let's mark that plus 2 more days. Colleen gets another shot at her puzzle box.
Yay.
Hey, she makes
Hell
another
yeah.
layer. Let's see. It's actually been a while since you succeeded on this check.
I was occupied with more important stuff.
No, she wasn't. She's been playing with this every day.
Well, yes, but her main focus was on doomsday devices, death drones.
Doomsday.
Ah, there we
But
go.
yes, fitting with
Uh,
the box's more diversion.
She is She has basically succeeded in 4 different steps. Well, not 4 steps, but 4 stages. And there's still
of?
more to go.
Damn it, someone made this thing really, really hard.
Yeah, who might that have been?
Oh, it was the real her.
Of course it was.
If it was anybody else, you would have cracked that thing already.
Your worst enemy is yourself.
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, you guys spend those 2 days, oh, the system strain is obviously gone. 2 days, floating through. Where are you guys at? Let's see. Floating through a Z space toward Henry Station.
Very,
And
very quietly.
very quietly. And
Be
we'll go ahead
very,
and
very quiet.
put a pause on this right there.
We're hunting wabbits.
Wabbits.
No, we're trying to avoid being hunted like rabbits.